What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline. Guys, we got a fun episode for you guys tonight. A lot of new stuff has dropped, a lot of stuff has released, and we have some theories about some stuff that may be dropping before the new year. Excuse me. So if you're here, definitely stay tuned to hear about that. But let's see who we have in the chat tonight, guys. You can see we have a great panel here. Of course, we got Ryan, as always, from Mr. Mom Collectibles. Chris from Collecting Madness, our boy CMB, who you see very often here and over on Geeking Out. And of course, as always, we have our friend Sean from the Hot Toys Nightmare. Bright and early this Thursday, we have everybody here, which is awesome. Unfortunately, the one person that's missing from the panel tonight is Lane. Lane is on vacation, so he'll be here in spirit, but Lane will be rejoining us again next week. But let's say what's up to some people in the chat. Of course, Insane One's always dropping that soon comment everywhere. He's always first. You guys can't beat Insane One. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Some guy, he says, yo, collection family, let's go. Can't wait. Good to see you as always, some guy. Payden, my friend Payden, good to see you as always. He says, hello, fellow collectors. 4 subs away from 600. Yes, guys. So throughout the stream, we're going to be trying to get to 600. That's going to be my New Year's stream goal, is to get to 600. We're so close. So, hey, if you're here and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so to get us to that 600. Let's see. Another comment. Tonight's the night, baby. 600. I appreciate the enthusiasm. Fat Batman's Collecting Nightmare says, what's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well, Fat Batman. It's good to see you as always. My friend Ty is here. Good to see you, Ty. But guys, are you excited about all the stuff that we've seen this week? I know one thing in particular really has Ryan really excited. We're not going to talk about that just yet. The most exciting thing, we're not going to talk about it yet, but we are going to get into something that everybody loves, and that's Star Wars. Who doesn't love Star Wars? So guys, finally, I've been on stream saying, like, where's my Kuiil and Blurg? Finally, we got our Kuiil and Blurg, and this is the first look from Sideshow. I don't know about you all, but me personally, I was surprised that we didn't get this one first, just because it's a pretty small figure. I know it's a new mold compared to the original Mando, but I figured they would try to push this one out quicker just because it's a smaller figure and it's less material to work with. But I guess they figured the OG Mando was close enough to their original mold. They just made some minor changes. They're like, let's get that out first. Yes, Eric, our wallets are in trouble. But Chris, what are your thoughts on this Kuiil and Blurg? Is this something you're picking up for your Mandalorian collection, or is this a pass for you? Whether it's just the Kuiil or the Kuiil and Blurg set?
Unfortunately, it's a pass. I think it looks beautiful. Like, it's an amazing set, and I know people have been waiting and waiting for this thing to come out. One thing I do know about it that I think is pretty cool, at least I saw in some photos, and I could be wrong because I haven't confirmed it, is does his mouth move? Like,
His mouth does move. I was hoping that you would bring us to that, Chris. His mouth does move. So that's actually a surprise feature that I don't believe was listed originally when he was posted on Sideshow and other websites.
Yeah, that's
you can kind of
cool.
see it here. If we pause it, you can kind of see that seam
Yeah.
down the side here. But yeah, I think that's very cool. Now, I will say I have because you brought this up, I have the sequel trilogy Chewbacca, and he has an opening mouth. And it's pretty crap. It doesn't really hold its position too well. I'm hoping that they kind of change it on this one. What I would expect to be is like a ratcheted mouth where it has multiple points where you can keep it open at certain points. Because at least my particular copy of that sequel trilogy Chewbacca, it tends to just kind of mush down and then kind of slowly ease its way back up on its own. So I'm hoping that they fixed it with this one. Maybe they'll show us in this video because I haven't watched this yet. But yeah, that is a good thing to point out. That was a feature that we weren't too sure about. But so sorry, go ahead.
But anyways, the sculpt looks amazing. I think this guy looks incredible. They nailed it 100%. So
yeah, I agree with you. And I think this one also lends itself very well because it has that kind of helmet that he has on. It covers up the hair. So that's another one less thing for them to have to worry about with the head sculpt. So it definitely helps it along. And I think it looks great. I agree with you. I think the sculpt's great. I have zero complaints. CMB, what are your thoughts on the Kuiil and Blurg?
Getting it. It looks awesome. It completely surprised me with the articulated mouth. Like, I did not think we were going to get that, and I thought that was a
here we are right here. Perfect timing. So it does look like it's kind of like the Chewbacca where it just kind of flaps open. It didn't appear to be ratcheted. But go ahead. I'm going to bring it back while you're talking.
No, but I mean, I just thought it was a welcomed addition. It was something that, they didn't mention. It's like they hit us with a surprise. Like a bonus. So I'm all for it. Plus, it's Kuiil, and this came out just like the show. You know, you could see Nick Nolte's face in this alien, just like
Isn't
you
that
could see it in
crazy? I thought the
Hulk.
same thing. Yeah.
You know, and then just like every time I see this figure, even when it's on the blurg, all I hear is him saying, "I have spoken."
I have spoken. Yeah, it's
a definitely do. As soon as it comes into stock, I'll be picking it up.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. And it's like this is one that I actually pre-ordered day one because I was pre-order crazy day one when it comes to the Mando stuff. But like this character was so special, and he didn't do that much because he wasn't alive that long in the show. But the little bit that he did was very impactful. I think Nick Nolte's performance of the character was absolutely incredible, and I'm really, really excited to get this one as well. But Sean, if you're here still, what are your thoughts on the Kuiil and blurg?
So I actually like it. It's good.
What about that
concerned
shot
with
right there,
articulation
Sean?
a little bit? What, the
Old
super
man
thin
alien
legs?
The super
You're talking about.
We'll go with that. Super thin legs. Yeah.
You just need to go for another Throbbing.
That's true. That's very true. I don't think we'll ever see another one. I think that's the ultimate piece right there, the original Throbbing.
But I think it's really good. I like the design of it. I'm concerned about how well it's going to really fit or stay on the blurg.
Yeah. And not only
because of how some of the pictures are, he's not really straight on it. He's leaning to the side, and that's a little concerning.
Let me ask you this. What do you think that his legs will be able to open wide enough like the OG Mando? Obviously, they made changes on that one. Do you think that they'll have issues on this one from the photos you've seen?
Well, see, my original, the first Mandalorian they came out with, fit on the blurg the same way as the new one does. I don't see any
very similar.
Different design in the legs. It's exactly the same. I can fit it on the other blurg and have them side by side, and there's no difference in sitting.
Gotcha. That's good to know because I know a lot of people mention that, but I don't have both to compare, so I'm glad to hear that from you.
So I mean, there's just between the two OG Mandos, there's just different colors that were used for some of the fabric, and that's really it.
That's fair.
But on Kuiil, I'm concerned about putting them on the blurg.
I can see what you mean now that I'm looking at them.
Just because of how the pictures were when we pre-ordered it, looked like it could be straight on.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm not so certain.
Gotcha.
So hopefully I'm wrong. And
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I have it on pre-order, so I should be getting it day one if I get lucky with first batch from Sideshow. So I'll be able to share with y'all my thoughts on that when I get it in. But he's looking really good. I think that's probably the most warranted concern, Sean, apart from the mouth. Because again, when I just saw that articulation on the mouth, it does remind me of the Chewbacca. It's like the same thing. It just kind of falls down. And I would have wished they would have done like a little mini ratchet, but I don't know what their limitations are, being that they have a little bit of space to work with there. So I won't really fault them for that. I'm just glad that they included that articulated mouth. Yeah, he comes with some cool stuff too. I mean, me personally, I'll never display him with the goggles actually on his eyes because I love the look of it just on his head. But some really cool stuff indeed. Let's say what's up to some people in the chat though before we move on to our boy Ryan. Matt says, "Hey fellas, what's up, Matt? Good to see you, man. As always, it's great to have you here. Smoke them if you got them. What's up, my friend? Hitting us with the cigarette emoji in chat, the little smoke emoji. Very fitting for smoke them if you got them. Insane one. See, this is the comment that we always miss. Don't take your likes with you. Leave it here and take a subscription while you're at it to the Hot Toys Hotline and this killer panel if you haven't. Yes, guys, if you have not already, once again, we are super close to 600. So if you're here watching and you have enjoyed yourself so far on the stream and you would like to see more future content from me, please consider subscribing to the channel because I would love to hit 600 before the new year. That's my ultimate goal right now.
597.
Hey, we're already one up from when we started the stream. That's a great start. That's a great start. TK592, my friend, he says, Howard Chan unleashed. He is going to make collectors remember his name. Yes, it's like his gladiator moment. He wants to be remembered. He wants his name to be remembered. So this is what he's doing with record releases in 1 month in 2022. That's how he's going to make people remember his name. Violet is here. Violet says, hey, everybody. Violet, I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you as always. Oilers Workshop, my friend here, Jordan. I have speaking. Oilers, I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Oh yeah, Oilers. Also, I forgot to mention, dude. I was joking around backstage. Your name had come up because we were talking about something that you had commented on, and I was like, dude, I said Merry Christmas to Jordan, and he didn't respond to me. So I'm like, maybe he doesn't like me anymore. So Jordan, hey, if you're still out there, let me know that you still like me, dude.
He said you smell like shrimp butt.
Probably. Hey, he wouldn't be wrong. I probably do stink. Carlito said, evening, everyone. Good to see you, Carlito, as always. Carlito also says, I really like the way they displayed Kuiil at Secret Base. They had Mando sitting on the blurg and Kuiil posed up next to the blurg on the base. Dude, I think Kuiil's pretty amazing because there's going to be a lot of different ways that you can display him, especially if you have that, and I'm going to be picking this one up, that Grogu pack that comes with like the swaddled Grogu when he's wrapped in the cloth, and it comes with the loth cat and everything. I think my ideal look for Kuiil will have him sitting on the blurg, holding the swaddled Grogu. That's my favorite look personally, so I'm definitely going to display him that way. But yeah, there's a lot of great options for displaying him. Ant P, good to see you as always, Ant. Ant says, yo, what's up, Hot Toys Hotline fam? What is up, everybody? Joe P as well. Ant P and Joe P, perfect timing. Good to see you as always, Joe. I love your profile picture. That's actually one of my favorite looks for Lando, the Childish Gambino look with the all yellow and black. It looks awesome. The collector says, I'm having him repair IG on a table since that's the best relationship that I remember him having. Yeah, dude, that's another thing. Like posing him with IG. Obviously, IG was not a thing without Kuiil kind of rebuilding him and reprogramming him. So we have Kuiil to thank for IG, one of our favorite droids. Devin saying number 598. So we're 2 away. Thank you so much, Devin. I appreciate you.
Oh,
we're only 2 away from 600. You're the man, Devin, and everybody else. You're the man or woman. All right, Ryan, let's get into your thoughts on Kuiil and blurg. We'll touch base on some more comments in a little bit, but Ryan, what are your thoughts on the Kuiil and blurg set?
I really like it a lot. I will not be picking it up only because I'm kind of Mandoed out, kind of hitting the tap out button on Mando. You know, I have a couple figures from Mando in general, so I think it really is going to have nice shelf presence. It's going to command really nice shelf presence just in your display. Nothing negative to say about the figure. It's just, like I said, it's not my particular cup of tea. The quality looks great. Figure, no complaints at all. I like everything that's done with it. But like I said, for me, I'm a little bit Mandoed out right now in terms of I'm focused on other Star Wars. But I can't deny seeing this in a shelf lit up, it's going to have fantastic shelf presence, especially if an OG Mando next to it. It's going to have unbelievable presence for anybody that has it. So I applaud those who are going to be picking this one up. It's going to be a great pickup.
Yeah, I agree. And I think especially if you're a fan of specifically season 1 Mando, this is like a definitive piece for that season 1 Mando display. You can argue that you could pass on some of the troopers and such, but I think this is one that you have to have if you're making a season 1 Mando. This one, the OG Mando, even if you're passing on the blurg, that's really cool, by the way. That's like a sleep dart that's magnetic. That's really, really cool. I did not know about that, so that's cool to see. Interesting. I wonder, here's a question. I wonder if they implemented that in the blurg that came with the Mando or the Solo one, and we just didn't know about it. Very curious to see that. So Sean, you'll have to test that for us since you have Mando on the blurg. You'll have to test that. I'm very curious now. I did not know that was a thing. That's super cool. So that's the stuff we like to see though. Like little things like that kind of make the value that much more there. You know what I mean? This small little changes. And this is even cool too. This like pail of water where it has that sculpted resin, that clear resin on the inside. Really, really cool.
I noticed they're starting to switch up their first look, like unboxings, like how they display stuff. And
yeah, they are. I think they're kind of
still. We'll tell they're kind of copying some you've seen out there. But I'm not gonna get.
They're taking notes. They're taking notes from us YouTubers. That's what they're doing. Yeah. They're taking notes. Let's see. Sergeant Sal Collects. Sergeant Sal Collects says, I'm new here for a random notification about y'all. So hello, guys. Good to see you, Sergeant Sal. Excuse me. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you being here. I hope you're doing well. My friend Kaiju Daddy is here. Kaiju said, good morning, everyone. Exciting and dreadful for my wallet days. Yes, it's very dreadful and exciting at the same time because as you guys know, we're just getting hit left and right with these pre-order notifications. Like, not only are the figures going to wait list early, but everybody who pre-ordered who hasn't paid off their figures and these figures are starting to ship. It's a fun and exciting time, but it's also, like you said, it's a bit dreadful because you're like, damn, that stings, you know? And especially with some vehicles and stuff like this coming out. These are high-priced items, you know? So it definitely hurts all at one time. That doesn't – hey, your payments on these figures don't stop at the same time either. So definitely very unfortunate. Yes, that is a big thing. No more footprints in the sand bays. That's a huge thing. We're really glad to see that because how sick and tired were we of those sand footprint bases? Even the fact that they gave one to IG-11, a droid, had human footprints on his base. I couldn't believe that. I was so upset about that. I had to get a custom base because I was just so upset about it.
That one still blows you away.
It still does to this day. Some guy says, let's go, everyone. Smash that like button and subscribe. 620 subs by the end of the night. Some guy, you're really setting the bar high, man. You really are. Hey, like I said, if we hit 600, even with what I have now, I'm very pleased. But if we hit 600, I'll be happy. That's my end of the year goal. Let's see. Smoking If You Got Him says, wonder if the bucket comes without the blurg. Good question. I haven't personally looked too much at the single release of Kuiil just because I purchased the set. But if anybody in the chat knows, or we can actually take a look real quick while this is playing. Let me open up a tab on Sideshow, so we'll answer that question for you. But I would imagine that might be an accessory that comes with it, but you never know. Let's see. All right, let's see. Kuiil. He does include the bucket. I'm happy to say, and I'll pull it up for you real quick. Because actually, right as I pulled it up, he's displayed with the bucket. So there you go. You do not have to have the Kuiil and blurg set. He does include the bucket. And that's honestly one of the better accessories, in my opinion. Does he include the sleep dart? That's the question. That would be one that I would imagine would be exclusive to that set. He actually still includes the sleep. Okay. So Hottoys is smart about this because they probably thought to themselves, we do sell the blurg by itself. So if they change their mind later, it still includes all the stuff. They're smart about that. I like that. 160's Nuts said, magnets on the blurg's ass? Put those magnets in the wrist pegs.
Facts.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that Inart Joker. We are absolutely going to talk about that. So we'll get into that. That's actually my favorite feature. But first, guys,
A piece of me wishes that there was something, like, even though I'm not getting it, like I know some people where if you buy that set of them together, like that exclusive accessory, you know, to the set, kind of like Han and Chewie were.
Han and Chewie came with the heavy blaster.
Yeah.
They do that a lot. I mean, like BB-8 and BB-9E, they came with a mouse droid. They do that very often. I do like that they include exclusive accessories. I mean, look at the Boba Fett 2-pack. You can only get the hobo robed Boba in that set. So,
didn't you also get the lighter for BB-8 as well? Because that didn't.
That you can get in the single release, not the right. There was a single release of the Last Jedi BB-8 as well. But the exclusive accessory to that 2-pack was the mouse droid. Yeah. But guys, finally, the Chrome Season 2 Mando has released. Finally. Now, this is one, and it's so funny because ever since this was released, I've seen so many people saying this might be my figure of the year. So it seems like a lot of people were excited for this one. Me personally, I was definitely really excited for it. So the box art alone just gets me excited. And I think you guys know why. Right here, you could see we finally have a Pedro Pascal Din Djarin head sculpt, which obviously we were really hoping that Season 1 included that. And unfortunately, I guess the licensing didn't work out. They weren't able to get the head sculpt for the first one, but that's okay because they're like, we can make more money repainting the armor and giving you guys a head sculpt, and we're going to give you a Season 2 Mando. So here we are, Season 2 Mando. Let's see in the chat what we got going on in the chat. Justin Burr, good to see you. Mace, guys, I think Mace is still possible for the end of the year. I'm really holding out hope that Mace will Mace and the Super Battle Droid. So we'll talk about our predictions later in the stream, but still hold out hope for that Mace. I mean, Mace is coming regardless, but I think it's possible we may get him for the end of the year. OG fan is here. He says, hello, everyone. We'll be listening, but not really commenting. Working, vacation, LOL. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Yes, Happy New Year, everybody. This will be the last time you see us on stream before the new year. So Happy New Year to you all as you poke in and out of the stream. But here we are,
see
guys.
All next year.
Yeah, we'll be here. We'll be here next year. Don't you worry. So here we are, guys, with the Season 2 Beskar Mando set. I will say, after seeing the sculpt, I still think the sculpt is very usable on like your transport trooper bodies. I still think it looks really good personally. I know he's kind of sad looking. It's not the ideal look, but I don't think it's not too far off from neutral where I don't think it's not usable. So I'm going to test that out when I get mine for sure. But I think it looks pretty good. Chris, is this one that you're picking up? And what are your thoughts on this Season 2 Mando as we're watching the unboxing video here from Sideshow?
You damn right I'm picking this up. I literally been waiting all year for this, and it's actually the only thing I plan to get from the Mando line. He's the only one that I cared about. I love the Mandalorian, but I figured if I started going down that route, it'd be way too deep for me to get into.
Right.
And him and Grogu are like the stars of the show in general, anyways.
Yeah.
The head sculpt, I have no problem with it. That scene that he was in anyway was kind of sad, and it was, a beautiful moment. So it doesn't really bother me too much, and you can see his likeness still in there. But yeah, everything he comes with is awesome. I think the finish is awesome on the suit, and season 2 in general was just beautiful. Like, it was the cherry on top, chef's kiss, especially that ending.
Yeah. And this is a special one, like you said, because it has that head sculpt. And if you want to recreate that moment, you absolutely can. It'll be perfect for that. But not only that, he also has the Beskar spear. And you guys know he had that battle with Moff Gideon where he was blocking the Beskar, or excuse me, blocking the Darksaber with his Beskar spear. So obviously he doesn't have that anymore. So that makes this figure that much more special. This is the last time we'll see the Beskar spear included with Mando, unless they reissue this one way down the line. But
yeah, and having the Darksaber too, when he was dragging Moff Gideon behind him, like that scene, just walking down, like he was just badass. So,
and do you think this is going to add value to Moff Gideon now that this figure is being released?
I believe so.
Because a lot of people have been passing on the Moff Gideon, so it's going to be interesting to see how those sales fluctuate now that we have this season 2 Mando. Because this may
get
what
closer to completing that scene, I guess.
And we have Bo-Katan now, so it's like a lot of people are probably like, "Oh man, I can complete the scene now." That's really cool too. He has that little swap out flashlight piece.
I skipped on the other Mandos because I was waiting on this one. So,
and I think right now this is the definitive Mando. It definitely is. It's got the head sculpt. You got the updated paint on the armor. Do you have an issue with the weathering? I know in the Discord specifically, a lot of people were talking about the weathering on the armor, whether they thought it was good or not. Me personally, I think weathering adds to the realism always. Just because it's shiny Beskar doesn't mean he's not been through it. Mando's always into something. It makes a lot of sense for it to be weathered and not shiny brand new like it was when he first got it. So I much prefer the weathered look personally.
Right. I think at the end of season 2, maybe there was that we didn't see. I know it's a lot more, it's got that reflective, but it's also a darker show at the same time. And I feel if they just went clean with that kind of finish that they're doing here, it would just look way too fake and plastic. You see it on a lot of toy figures. So I think they nailed it here by giving it that metallic look with that, washing effect or whatever they did there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me either.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. We're getting an ad here from Come on, Sideshow. What did I tell them about this? I've been telling Sideshow for weeks now. They got to stop with these ads while we're on stream.
I don't know. I kind of dug that couch console.
Well, hey, if you guys want that couch console, you can go back and pause the stream and maybe look up the link. It's cool. Free advertising for whatever that company was. All right, let's see what some answers to my question here. Matt says Mando figure of the year. See, I mean, a lot of people, that's what I'm hearing. Mando figure of the year. Kaiju says, if Mace is up for solicitation in 2023, they didn't really offer him up for the 20th anniversary. Think about it this way. Look what they did with the Bespin Luke. That came out like almost a year after they were done with the original releases for 40th ESB. So I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Let's see what else we got going on here. Joe P said, I'm Mandoed out. I second and third that. Yeah, I mean, Joe, at this point, as much as I love The Mandalorian, I am as well. I'm kind of glad that we're nearing the end of these releases. Once we get Casca and we're just kind of rounding out the end of those releases. I'm almost hoping that for Mando season 3, we don't get hammered too hard, but I know we're going to. So just prepare yourselves for it.
We're going to get hammered with all them Mandos in it.
Yeah, we just got to prepare ourselves for it. Carlito says, I'm more excited for Chrome Mando than I thought I'd be. The accessories are way cool. Specifically, the deluxe accessories are made to be stored on the swoop bike. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I'm right there with you. I don't have the swoop bike yet, and I'm still deciding whether I want to grab it or not. But regardless, I think you could really make a cool post with it. Excuse me. Let's see. 1-6 shooter. What's up, man? 1-6 shooter says, hate the unmasked sculpt is necked. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've had ideas for custom like figures, and I go to implement it, and I'm like, damn, I can't because Hot Toys put a neck on the sculpt. I totally agree with you. I think where the opportunity presents itself, they should try to separate it and give you a separate net peg, because that just leaves so many opportunities for customs. But obviously, I get it. Sideshow's not really, or excuse me, Hot Toys is not really thinking that route. They're just like, this is what works for our figure. But I agree. Perfect example. I was trying to make a Ben Swolo custom, specifically a Ben Swolo custom from the sequel trilogy, and I was going to use that Kylo head sculpt, and I couldn't because it was necked. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to like chop up this head sculpt and try to modify it. So I ended up going a different route. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It definitely is. Nate mentioned that the armor was too shiny. I guess it comes down to.
Some said it was.
Yeah, that some said the armor was too shiny, and then he also mentioned I did see the criticism that there's too much weathering on the armor. At the end of the day, I think it comes down to personal preference. I will say though, if you compare the original Beskar Mando to this one, I much prefer this one. And another question that's going to pop up, and I want to pose this to the panel and the chat, and feel free to chime in before we move on to Cigar's thoughts. But do you think this makes the original Beskar Mando obsolete? That's a word that some people are throwing around. You think it makes it obsolete?
I don't.
No.
So I wouldn't use the word obsolete whatsoever. The only thing I would say once again is I think the tide shifts where now this becomes the definitive Beskar Mando that everybody wants. You know what I mean? Ryan, let's jump to Ryan real quick, because Ryan said he does think it makes the original obsolete. Let's hear your thoughts on that. And you could also share your thoughts on the figure as well, now that we're jumping to you.
I mean, unless the old one, I had the original one, I sold it, and I sold it I was one of those people that sold it below value, so I took a loss on it.
Right.
And I think a lot of people did. And, there's going to be people out there that it might be one of those figures. I could see it being both ways, where it's coveted because it's different, because, it's not the chrome painting. It's like the OG chrome, you know what I mean? Kind of like the OG Mando, how it's still coveted. Right. So I could see that. But I could also see people also picking it up for a heck of a steal. Like if someone gets it for $120 or $130, all right, I'm going to get it just because, that kind of thing. But
yeah,
to me, this is now the 2.0 definitive chrome, until they come out with a better paint application, or they end up using real chrome, you know what I mean? On the next version.
Right. What they're going to do next,
Yeah. Or make, like a die cast. So it feels like it's, a die cast one or something like that. And that's chrome plated. So like the chrome stormtrooper or something. But I like this one a lot. Like I said, I had the original. I sold it just because it didn't fit, believe it or not, in my collection at the time. I have the OG one, and I still love it. To me, I love that OG Mando from the first 2-3 episodes. It
has so much class, dude.
It's like an old Western kind of throwback. Exactly. I love it. Yeah. I will probably be getting this, but I do, because it's an older release. I think it's going to sit a little while. And if I do get it, I'm not going to get the deluxe with all the extra baggage and stuff like that. It's just, I would never display it anyway. Yeah. But I do think it's going to sit a little while. So I'm going to play the blue screen game on it and let it sit, because I have other pre-orders that I'm working on. So it doesn't fit in the cards right now to get this guy immediately. I don't have a need for it. The one thing that does bother me, and it seemed like it was confirmed in the video, I mean, it does look, there were some photos online. It definitely is a little bit taller than the first chrome, and it does look.
They compared the two. I don't.
Yeah, there was also a photo on Facebook where someone compared both of them side by side, like the chrome and then the 1.0, and you want to call this the 2.0. Or
and it makes sense. They did adjust the height a little bit.
Yeah,
I think,
and it actually looks a little, and it's also a little bit thinner too. The body itself is a tad skinnier, just because it's an updated body. But what does bother me, which was my theory behind it, the articulation doesn't look any better on it. I was hoping that they would have done what they did with the 1.5 Mando with the blur, where they loosened up the fat suit to give it more articulation. I understand that was because it was the blur, but if you watch the video, he can't still raise the blaster to an appropriate height. And even in one of the new blogger photos with the rifle, he's still not holding the rifle up to line of sight. He's still,
the rifle's the toughest one too.
Yeah,
right? Because
so
it's like,
that's a hard. I mean, I know I'm not gonna be but I like to take photos, and I like to have that ability to free pose it. And I was really hoping that they would have lessened the fat suit on it, and it still looks like it's the same way.
Yeah, it's
That's
tough,
kind of,
especially with that rifle, because it's like it's not a very
that's
natural pose for an action figure.
That's
so
making me not get it right away, because I'm like, okay, it's gonna. I know what I'm getting myself into, and I removed the fat suit on the first version. I did, but the problem that the suit itself.
There you go. That is Mando's Mr. Mom look.
There
That
you
is
go.
true.
Yeah, maybe. I did take the fat suit off the first chrome, and the suit itself was too baggy, where you really had to sew it up to tighten it up on the body. That was part of the reason why I sold it, because I loosened up the fat suit, didn't take it completely off. I took it off certain areas, and it made the actual suit itself baggy. So, you know,
it's a tough call to make for sure. Jordan, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for confirming my suspicions that you love me. I love you too, man. I appreciate you. Weathering can help with defects. I mean, yeah, I guess so. If there's some defects, you can just kind of chalk it up to weathering because it has so much of it already.
Yep.
Matt says, Big Brita said the head sculpt does not fit in easy with the transport trooper and did not fully attempt it as of yet. Yeah, like Trevor was saying from 1.6 shooter, because it has that neck, it is bad for posing. Because obviously, if you think about it, instead of the head moving independently like this, it moves like this because you're moving the whole neck because it's attached to the piece. So yeah, it does hurt posing a little bit, but honestly, because the way that Hot Toys designs it, where it goes so deep into the neck, you could still get some pretty decent action out of the head. It's very limited. And like Ryan was saying, especially if you're a photographer, it definitely limits you a little bit in the photography aspect. And that's probably where Trevor's thinking. He's like, if I'm trying to take photos and such, it's very limiting. But again, also for us that are trying to turn our transport trooper into a transport Mando, it's very difficult. And I've seen some people succeed with it, but I haven't even dug into how. So it's definitely going to be a task that I have to think about before I begin doing it. My friend Tremble Dust, good to see you as always. I hope you're doing well. Let's see what else we got. Kuiil, figure of the year next year, Morbius. All right, Tremble. I don't know if you're being honest with that, if you're saying Kuiil and Morbius are your figure of the year, but hey, if you are, I'm excited for the Morbius. Ryan and I and CNB, we may be the only ones on the planet, but some of us are.
I am still pumped for that figure.
I am too.
Yep.
Matt says Kylo and Hulkbuster popped up on Last Chance.
He's going right next to Dead Strange. That's where he's going.
Yeah, he's gonna, dude. So many different opportunities for Morbius, in my opinion. Spider-Man, Venom, horror figures, Dead Strange, like a lot of good opportunities to display him. Yes, I also saw that there was a Hulkbuster on Second Chance, so you get a deal on it. It was like 900 something. I thought that was really cool. Ekwan says it's a perfect combination of shiny and weathering. Can't go too much in one direction. I would agree with you. That's kind of my thoughts on it. I think they kind of hit the nail on the head with this finish. I think that's right what I was expecting. So I'm right there with you. Saiful says, hello, Hotline. Hello to you, Saiful. I hope you're doing well. Guys, once again, we have 52 in the chat. If you have not liked already, please consider doing so. Also, get us to that 600. If you haven't subscribed and you're enjoying yourself on the stream, please consider subscribing to the channel. Seven says, by the way, I hope you're doing well, Seven. Seven says, I like neck face sculpt. They look more realistic. Separate head, neck looks toy-like, but I'm not into extreme posing. That's definitely a good point. There are trade-offs, right? So if you want more articulation and posing in the head and neck area, it would be nice to have a separate piece. But if you want it to look more realistic, absolutely. Obviously, it being all one piece, there's no seam there. It definitely looks more realistic. It also depends on the character. I will say with Mando, because he has that collar going up his neck, they could have separated the sculpt and it still would have looked pretty good. But obviously we don't know the inner workings of the company and why they make certain decisions, but for sure. Andrew, good to see you. As always, good to see you. I always love to see your profile picture. I'm a big fan of I feel like Cigars has got me to become a connoisseur of profile pictures because he's always changing his to these banger profile pictures. Every time I see a good one, I'm like, that's a good profile picture. Another one is my boy Some Guy. I always love seeing the Winter Soldier as his profile picture. I guess I'm surprised Sean didn't point this one out. He's been kind of calm lately with this, but I did say head action. I did use that. So Matt, thank you for taking Sean's cue there for the head action. But CMB, let's move on to your thoughts as we're looking at pictures, actually, a close-up of the head sculpt. What are your thoughts on this Beskar Mando from season 2?
I'm getting it. Granted, I have the OG Mando. I have the first Beskar Mando,
Right.
and then I'm gonna be getting this chrome one.
So you need the Trinity then.
Yeah. And for me, like, I have no problem picking it up just because, I mean, the first one you can say is, season 1, and then you can pick this one with season 2 display. So there's, there is a use for it. And I can understand why some people are getting Mandoed out, but I mean, for me, you can never have enough Star Wars. So I have no complaints. And I dig the fact that we got Pedro Pascal's head sculpt. And I mean, it does suck that you get the neck action, so it's going to be hard. I mean, you would have to mod it if you want to put it into a transport trooper or something else. But I mean, looking at that pose right there, I mean, that's an awesome pose. So I mean, might just display my figure like that.
That's all me, dude. You know how I am with the helmet in hand. I love it, dude. It looks so good.
But for me, like, I'm all in. Like, granted. Yeah, I like the fact that they added the weathering to the Beskar. It gives it more of a realistic look because I don't care how shiny something is, it still gets scratched and buffed up.
And Mando gets into some shit, so it makes sense for him.
And he was in the desert.
He's not trying.
Right.
Yeah, he's not trying to keep his stuff spotless, like a waxed car. For him, it's just armor. So it's going to get dinged up, scratched up, beaten up.
The thigh plate, especially, man.
Yeah, he had to change the thigh plate,
That's another thing with the season 1 Mando. You kind of have 2 different looks essentially there because you have a different thigh plate on that season 1. So that's another way you can kind of separate the two.
Is the bounty hunter droid or the droid that was with them on the prison run that he killed.
Right.
And he uses that as the thigh plate armor.
Yep.
So, I mean, it does have a multitude of uses. So, I mean, there's different, it's all up to the collector. I know some people are like, well, I don't want too many Mandos or I don't want this. And others are like, give me. So it all falls down on the collector. I'm just one of those collectors where, I'm going to be getting it. I love Mando and everything about the show. I've never had a complaint. I mean, some episodes are meh, but in general for the whole thing, like, I've loved the way that Mando's going. I'm looking forward to season 3.
Yeah.
So for me, this is a must buy. And I will be picking it up as soon as it comes into stock. Yeah. I'll be getting the deluxe because I'm also getting the swoop bike, and because I'll actually be
from Lane, actually, right? That's who you're picking up.
Yeah,
like he was buying us all for Christmas. He's a little late.
That's why Lane's not here, guys.
That's true.
He's busy buying them.
He's on. Yeah, exactly. He's busy.
Listen, if he gets me a swoop bike, I'll buy this instantly right now.
There you go. Yeah, so Lane, what are you waiting on, man? I mean, you got plenty of people ready to receive the gifts from you. You just gotta deliver, man.
Whoa, guys, calm down. Okay, we all know that Santa Kramer is on a sleigh, being dragged by 4 swoop bikes.
That's true.
Taking him everywhere he needs to go to drop off those swoop bikes to us.
Guys, who would like to see that Lane with a sleigh powered by Hot Toys swoop bikes? Wouldn't that be pretty incredible?
Can we get a t-shirt made of that?
That would be perfect. I'd be down with that. Boba Fettuccine. Perfect
make
timing.
That into a meme and then send it to Hot Toys Hotline. There you go. Lane as Santa Claus being pulled by swoop bikes.
I'm game for that. I'm game for that. He said, where was Lane?
Somebody in the chat can do it.
Lane is on vacation. So
600.
He's got a good excuse. No way. Did we hit 600, everybody? Let's see. I'm going to refresh. Let's go. Hey, nobody be smart and unsub. I know what people do. We hit 600, guys. Thank you so much. I'm very happy. It's so crazy to me because last month I had a goal of 500 before the end of the year. We've gained almost 200 subscribers.
Hold on, let me unsub right now. Hold on.
Yeah, Ryan would be the one to do that after he's tried to help me get to 600. He's like, now that I've helped you, see you later. But I appreciate you guys.
Train wheels come on.
I just unsub too.
As I say that, it's going to happen. But thank you so much, guys. For those of you that, excuse me, can't even talk. For those of you guys that have subscribed, I really appreciate you. Once again, I was going to be happy to get 500 before the end of the year, and to see that we're at 600, I'm very pleased, and it shows me that you guys enjoy what we're doing here. So I really do appreciate that. We do have, by the way,
600 anymore.
No way. So who did me like that? No, it's still there. I'm not checking for the rest of the stream. I'm not checking. Nobody check. Don't look, guys. Don't look. Thank you. Everybody's saying congratulations. Thank you so much.
601 guys. Quick, just the cover. We need some fluff.
Yeah, somebody 601. But I will say this. Everybody who's saying congratulations, you guys, it's because of you guys. You guys have been here since the beginning. I recognize all your names. You guys know I remember you, and I really do appreciate you. So thank you so much, guys. Truly, thank you so much. But yeah, Beskar, what a better time to hit 600 than we're talking about season 2 Beskar Mando. And on that note, Sean, what are your thoughts on the season 2 Beskar Mando?
Well, my honest thoughts here. One.
He's like, one, I'm unsubbing right now. As we
One is actually congratulations for hitting 600.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you, man.
You're welcome.
He's like, and on the other aspect of that, I hate your face.
Right.
$5.99.
No, I can't actually see his face because the live part with the timer on it is actually in front of it. So I go.
That's why I do that. I'm self-conscious.
The whole time
I have to be at the top so it covers my face.
Yeah, so this way I don't have to look at him. So it's all good.
Perfect.
It's not the face I'm looking for. I'm looking for C&Bs. Because I know he looks like that guy. I know he looks like that guy from Goonies.
Hey, Sloth? You're talking about Sloth? How dare you disrespect C&B?
Baby Ruth?
That's a timeless film right there. The Goonies. If you haven't seen the Goonies, you got to see it. By the way, thank you 1-6. I appreciate the kind words. And Andrew says keep them coming.
Yeah. So I'm happy with Chrome Mando.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on the weathering? Do you kind of agree with the panel where it's definitely warranted considering it's Mando and he's always getting into stuff? Like it makes a lot of sense for the character.
It does. It's like any type of metal, regardless how strong it is, there's going to be stuff that's happening to it. I mean, there's times throughout the season it looks like he was buffing it out, making it shine more. But it's understandable.
Can't blame him.
I mean, with Mando, I know people are gonna with the whole we're being Mandoed out. I'm 100% committed to the Mando line, so I'll order and I'll buy one of everything that comes from Mando. But I'm not committed to everything else that I buy, but like that. But
I'm all in a Mando as well, for the most part. I'm still missing a couple things like the swoop bike and stuff, but for the most part, especially the figures, I'm all in as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I have the Mando and Blurg. I've ordered Kuiil, and then Kuiil and Blurg. I've ordered that. I have the Blurg on its own also. My little piranha pet. So, it does look like a humongous piranha with legs.
It does. I mean, that's what everybody calls it. That's the nickname, is the fish. Everybody calls it the fish.
But I want to see more
Space piranha.
Space piranha. There you go.
Like, I'm really happy that it's coming out now before the end of the year.
Yeah, it's proper timing. Because I don't know if you guys remember, last year we got faked out. And there was this huge rumor that everybody was like, oh, yeah, it's happening. Everybody was saying this was coming out last December. Because, Toys Wonderland had put it up.
Email. Yep. Saying that it was coming out.
So we all thought it was releasing early. And then everybody, like, I paid mine off early. I paid mine off last December. Last December, I paid mine off because I thought it was coming out. Everybody was like, yeah, Toys Wonderland is sending out shipping notifications. I was like, well, shit, that's quick. But it made sense at the time because it's basically just kind of like a redo of something that they've already done. They just made it some minor changes. So I believed it. But hey, at least mine's paid off. It's been paid off for a year. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I have. So I do want to set it up where he was in the Tatooine desert with all the gear. I have one ordered for that. I have another deluxe ordered because I want to put this stuff on the swoop bike. And then I have just a regular version of it ordered.
Yeah.
I'm excited, dude. Swoop bike next month.
I got to figure out space for the swoop bike, but I want it as well. I just got to figure out space.
I was going to get it this month, but I just I paid off my last payment to the Vader Mythos statue today. Ooh. So it was a decision. Do I make the final payment or push it off another month? And I was like, I'll just make the final payment, get the swoop bike next month.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It makes sense to do that instead. Appreciate it, Carlito and Peyton. Thank you so much for saying congratulations. But guys, now we're going to go back in time. Specifically, guys, we're going to go back to the future. For those of you that haven't heard yet, the DeLorean is coming early, guys. Specifically, January 3rd, this will be begin distributing to the customers in Hong Kong. So that means it's going to be right around the corner for us in the U.S. But not only that, guys, if we take a look...
It'll be after Chinese New Year because they're going to
for sure. But it's just exciting the fact that they actually gave us news on it, and we all and we talked about this on the stream before. We all kind of thought that it was coming early, but we didn't know exactly when. But we finally have official word. But not only that, guys, they have officially fixed the wheels. And I'm on record. I know Cigars was with me. Ryan was with me. We did not believe that this was going to happen because look what happened with Doc
we
Brown.
No, we didn't. It's not that we didn't believe.
I don't think we cared.
We were kind of, it's like we said, like,
we lost hope.
Awesome. Yeah.
We lost
hope. I was getting it regardless, but if they did it, it'd be
right.
like, wow.
I'll give us some credit. You're right.
We were discouraged because of what happened with Doc Brown's head sculpt.
Yeah.
We figured that they might have rushed the Delorean as well, and they weren't going to do anything with the wheels. But we also said in the same breath, if they did fix the wheels, it would be a welcome surprise, and it would just prove that Hot Toys is still on point.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, so I'll give us a little bit of credit. We did say that it's possible that they would do it, but like Cigars was saying, we did get very discouraged because we saw the Doc Brown and we're like, if they can't even fill in some sunglass holes on the head sculpt, you mean to tell me that they're going to fix the DeLorean? They're going to fix the wheels on the DeLorean?
This is why they didn't fill in the holes. They said, we're tucking in the wheels, damn
and
it.
now I'm sitting here like, damn.
I'll take the holes in Doc Brown's head for this.
Right. Now I'm sitting here like, how dare me complain about Doc Brown if you're going to give us this? If you're going to fix the hover converted wheels in the DeLorean? Like, guys, this is huge. This is huge because, and we're going to take a look, after looking at this photo, we're going to take a look at the original photos of the DeLorean that are still up on Sideshow, and you'll see how much of a difference it really is. And this just shows that collectors complaining about things does make a difference, because this was a big, big problem, especially when it first went up. We first saw the prototypes and everything. Everybody was super upset for good reason, because it's like, guys, this is an $825 figure before taxes and shipping, a vehicle before taxes and shipping. So a lot of collectors, for good reason, weren't taking this lightly. They're like, what the hell did you do to these wheels? Like, why are they sitting so low? Like, they were super low to where there was a big gap inside that wheel well. And I told Ryan this earlier today when we were talking. I'm like, dude, when I first saw this drop, I almost was like second guessing myself. When I sent it to Ryan, I'm like, dude, I think they fixed the wheels. But I had to look at it again and again and talk to some other collectors and be like, damn, they really did fix the wheels. I had to compare the photos because I was in disbelief that they fixed it. So I'm really, really excited about this. And again, in a little bit, we're going to take a look at the other photos, but we're going to jump right to Ryan, because I know Ryan, him and I like reacted to this right after it happened, and we were super, super excited. So Ryan, like, what does this mean to you that Hot Toys has gone back and heard the fans, especially fans of Back to the Future, obviously, and fixed the hover converted wheels on the DeLorean?
It is impressive to know that a vehicle or a piece of this size and magnitude and price, that it got announced. And obviously, before people say, well, it's a reused body. Yeah, you're 100% right. It's mostly a reused mold, but from an announcement to a release to being bumped up and being modified in 12 months, 11 months. I think this was announced in February. I think, because I was going back looking at photos. I think, correct me if I'm
I can get
wrong.
you the exact date. Give me a second.
I was about to say, Sean's our guy for that.
Yeah,
he's got that stuff.
I feel like it was February, if I'm not mistaken. So if that's the case, you're looking at 11 months, and that's pretty. And also, they fixed. I mean, obviously, the base. It like Denobi said, they brought it out of the vault and just displayed it, because the base now, if you see, is all clear.
Right. It did have some black. I noticed that immedially. It had some black pieces.
It's all clear to make it look better. The wheels look
much better.
So much better. They're tucked in as they should. I'm really excited for it. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. As I always say, it's one of my 4 pillar stones of my childhood. It's like, that should be on my grave, that quote. But
it should.
Yeah. So it's like there's very few things that get I don't forget, but I keep saying Denobi, but it's true. He's, there's certain things that just get grandfathered into day one pre-ordering. Back to the Future, certain Batman 89, Ghostbusters. There's certain things that are just day one pre-order. I don't care. I need to have it. Do I think that this will probably sit a little bit where maybe those who haven't gotten it yet could probably drop a coupon on it? It's possible, because I think a lot of people are getting it are people that are just diehard, like, I need to have it now.
Right. Most of the people that want it have already started paying for it, because it's such an expensive piece. Like,
mine's already paid off. Yeah, I made my final payment. I accelerated payments. Like, I started paying for it in January. I knocked this thing out in 2 months. I paid for the whole thing off in 2 months. So the only thing I have left on it is the tax and the shipping, and also the shipping is not bad. We're talking, I think tax and shipping, I owe $100.03.
We have a caller. We have Sean here. I think we have some information update from Sean. Sean, go ahead.
Yes, Dirty Dishes. I'm bringing it to you live right now. And what was going on was back on February 18th, 2022. We had the announcement of the Back to the Future 2 DeLorean.
There you go.
Back to you, Chet.
There we go. Thank you, Sean, for that.
So February. But yeah, so for them to turn this thing around in 11 months, I mean, it's pretty damn impressive.
It's a win for collectors. It really is.
It really is. And as I said, it opens up. I mean, for me, I'm looking at it because I built one already. I built that Eagle Moss die-cast metal one. So,
and that's 1/8 scale.
That's 1/8 scale. I mean, that sucker's huge. I'll bring it down so you can look at it. But I mean, me not being too analytical, I'm definitely going to do. I'm going to do a little bit of modding to it because there is still, from a technical standpoint, there's still some inaccuracies and some things that Hot Toys overlooked.
Right, which happens a lot with most Hot
Toys. So, but they're minor fixes. Like for me, having my connections with Eagle Moss and doing that, there are third-party people that you could easily, like, just for a couple bucks, a couple little things that just make it even elevated to another level. And you're not doing any drilling. Like, you're just adding a couple stickers because there's decals missing on it. It's just a little nitpicking, but nothing's perfect. Don't get me wrong.
But I'm sure collectors are much more willing to put a decal on a car versus shit, I got to modify these hover wheels because they look terrible. So
the only two things I'm doing to my car is there's a decal set I'm going to get for it, that there's decals. And if you notice around the wheel wells where those hoses go, there should be a multitude of white zip ties, literally white zip ties that go around those. They're not there, but they make those. That is all I'm doing. It's just to give it another elevation and make another.
So those are just touches for you. They're like this kind of puts me at peace with it. That's all I need.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's very minor. It's very minor stuff.
No. Other than that, this thing is fantastic. USB, and my only cherry on top of already is if they just follow through and they illuminate the inside dash.
Right. Time, circuit, everything. I want everything to light up. It'd be perfect.
I agree with that. And I'm not even, and that's just like, because I think that was in the promo pics. And I know the first DeLorean didn't have it. If they illuminate the inside, that's just extra. But I'm such a happy fan that I'm just waiting for it to ship.
Yeah. And I think a lot of Back to the Future fans are right there with you because once again, this is a total win for collectors. And it's like, obviously the whole class behind the DeLorean for a lot of people is it's a hover car. It's a futuristic hover car. And to see that they actually fix the issues with the hover converted wheels is massive. You know, it's huge, and it makes us grin from ear to ear. And that's how it was for me. And again, I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe that they fixed it, but I was so pleased that they did. It's absolutely beautiful. It really is. And it's like, I personally wasn't going to display mine in hover converted mode because I wasn't a huge fan of how the wheels look. Now I am. It's completely changed my perspective of the vehicle. Excuse me. Now I'm going to display it in hover converted mode because it just looks so beautiful. It looks so beautiful. I'm very excited. Here's the Eagle Moss one that Ryan was telling us about. If this doesn't scare you into finding space for the new one, I don't know what will, because this is, again, 1/8 scale. So you can see this is already pretty big. It's the full size of Ryan's keyboard, obviously lengthwise. So if that doesn't scare you into finding space for this new Hot Toys DeLorean, I don't know what will.
This thing weighs about 40 pounds too. It's all metal, by the way.
Yeah, so the Hot Toys one should be a little bit lighter, but probably very similar in weight just because it's a larger scale, I'd imagine.
And the only thing that's cool about this one, which I kind of wish anyone who asks, but like you could have just went like this if they wanted this, if they did the Mark II.
Yep.
Now there's the Mark I. So
yeah, I'm surprised they didn't include that, but yeah, that's super cool, dude. It really is. And
the only argument I have is anyone who said, "Oh, the next one should be die-cast." No way, absolutely.
Yeah, imagine them
holding this thing alone. I'm afraid I'll drop this thing. Like, no way. There's no need for a die-cast.
And they're not going to put a die-cast vehicle up on a hover stand like that and expect it to stand the test of time. No way. Let's read some comments though before we move on to Chris. And I have something interesting to share about Chris regarding Back to the Future. Let's see. Matt says rumor is Attack of the Clones Anakin is releasing soon. Matt, just stop it. Don't you do that to me, Matt. How dare you? I know you're trolling. How dare you?
Too soon.
How dare you? Carlito says I'm eating my words and I'm okay with that. I swore that they were not going to fix the wheels after the Doc Brown debacle. Really happy to get this. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. whenever we're wrong on this panel, a lot of times it's for good reason. You know, if I'm wrong about something and it benefits collectors, I don't give a shit that I was wrong. I'm happy, you know, just like I say, like I certain figures, if I don't think certain figures are going to reissue, if they do, I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to be happy about it. But again, a lot of what we do on these streams is speculate. So part of speculation is being wrong because you're not always right, because speculation is what it is. It's speculation, you know?
That's cool. I'll eat my slice of crow pie.
Exactly. That's how we like to put it here. That's CMB's phrase, crow pie. We like to eat our crow pie here. Matt says, man, this Delorean release is generating so much buzz in the community. It is, man. It is. And so much so that I think some people who really weren't considering it may be now considering it, because you know how it is. Once everybody gets excited about something, there are some collectors who are like, damn, I don't want to miss out on that. Maybe I have to get the
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Anybody, really anybody.
Anybody on this panel?
No, nobody on this panel, but maybe we'll get him. Maybe we'll get him. Well, let's read a couple more comments and we'll talk about it. But Carlito says, I'm still sore about the cardboard plutonium case. The paper hinge creased really bad from opening it just once. I don't have my Doc Brown yet. I'm actually about to order it, but I'm curious to see if that happens with mine. Ryan, did that happen with yours? Did you see a crease on the hinge after you hinged it open for the first time?
Let's find out, because mine's been open since day one. And
see, maybe Ryan just didn't check. I mean, sometimes I just don't check stuff like that, you know. Boba Fettuccine says the DeLorean looks really great. Chrome Mando would look killer in it. Dude, that actually might look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Oh gosh, we're gonna make Ryan real upset here live on stream if this happens to his.
What crease am I looking for?
Guessing on the back for the hinge. Is there like a crease in the material? Yeah. I can see what he's talking about. I mean, it's not terrible, but there's almost like a bubble in the material as well.
Yeah, this thing's been open since day one. Whatever. You see the crease.
It's not. I mean, to be fair.
I mean, honestly, it's what I expected. I mean,
yeah. To be fair, I mean, if you're gonna have it hinged open till the end of time, you're never gonna see that. But yeah, if it was plastic, obviously that wouldn't happen. But
yeah. And it's the back too. So if you have it facing forward, like nobody's gonna look behind the case.
Yeah, exactly. But I definitely understand his point. You have to put trash in it to get the lights to work. Oh, gee, we didn't know that. Thanks for. I guess you have to fill your Mr. Fusion with trash. Let's see.
I wouldn't.
My friend
that,
HG.
Now.
You're like, I do
Commander
now.
Green.
Good to see you, HG. Good to see you, David. David says, when I unboxed the tumbler, I was shocked at the footprint. The Bat Pod, okay. The speeder bike, okay. But another 1.6 vehicle, no. Dude, I'm right there with you, man. Right now, all the vehicles I own, they're all speeder bikes. I've got the Bat Pod. I've got the Return of the Jedi speeder bike. And I've got the Mando speeder bike. So I truly have not experienced how massive a full-scale, 1.6 scale car is. So I don't think even I'm prepared to unbox this DeLorean, but I'm very excited for it nonetheless. Hot Toys Collector says, good evening / morning from Singapore. Good to see you as always, Hot Toys Collector. Good evening to you. All right, so guys, I'll let Chris share it. Chris, tell us, since we're talking about Back to the Future, share with the chat your newest revelation about Back to the Future.
Yeah, dude. So literally up until the point of last night, never seen the film. Not once ever, not even a snippet of it. I only know about the film from what you've said.
Kick him out right now.
Hey, there's a silver lining. There's a silver lining in this story. I promise you.
With that being said, my fiance seen it, my brother seen it, my whole entire family has seen it, and they're obsessed with the film. And I'm shocked at myself because I love 80s movies. And to be honest, this movie literally kept me like at the edge of my seat. And movies today barely even do that.
Look at that. You're getting flamed, buddy. Get out.
They don't make them the way they used to. But because of this, I blame each and every single one of you, including the chat, because now I'm being forced, because I'm in love with it, to get the figures. I've even thought, I think
you just said you fell in love with the movie.
Hold on. Flag on the play. What did you just say, Chris?
I'm gonna get the DeLorean somehow.
Wow, look, that is, you know what that's called, guys? We call that the Back to the Future magic. That's what we call that.
Wait, because you saw the light, you're blaming us?
Right. Yeah. That is the back. But guys,
absolutely, a bunch of enablers.
Chris, I mean, you found this out for yourself.
That's like your heart stopping, and we perform CPR on you, and you come back, and you go, you know what? I'm suing all of you for bringing me back.
Yeah.
Literally what you just said.
This
Yes,
world is
Chris is the victim here. As Nate would say, Chris is the victim here.
Your ass in court, buddy.
Thank you, Matt.
Hot Toys Collector says, first and foremost, congrats to all Star Wars fans. The new Mando looks awesome, and the awesome head sculpt for both Mando and Kuiil. Bang for the buck, new Mando as well. Still not a Star Wars fan. Hey, we appreciate you for giving us that love. Obviously, if we're a Star Wars fan, we're really excited right now because those are two beautiful figures. We actually just got done talking about those. But yes, guys, Chris has seen the light that is Back to the Future. But hey, we can't let him off the hook yet because he still has 2 more films to watch. He's only seen the first film.
I'm watching the second one tonight.
And if you think that he's in love after the first film, you got to remember, guys, Back to the Future 2 is most people's favorite. So he's in for a treat. He really is. Guys, 68 people watching.
Wait till part 3 when he
part
sees
3 is a sleeper,
Mad Dog Tannen.
Look, tell you what, if you all subscribe, I'll watch 2 and 3. I'm watching 2 tonight, but I'll watch 3.
There you go.
Eastwood. What kind of name is that?
Dude, that's exactly why I'm displaying my Clint Eastwood figures with the Back to the Future stuff, because obviously in Back to the Future Part 3, Marty calls himself Clint Eastwood just so he doesn't mess up
Mad
history.
Dog and the crew laugh at him and tell him,
I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question. So at the end of the film, obviously Doc comes back from the future and he's like rushing.
Ryan's like, you got a question? Now he turns his camera on.
And he's like telling him to get in the car quick, and him and what's her name get in the car. But
Jennifer.
Yeah, he literally has how you see it here, but I thought it didn't do that until the second film.
Because what it is, it does at the end of the first one, and then the beginning of the second one kicks off right where the end of the first one is.
Ryan's rubbing it in. He's got Pepsi from Back to the Future.
I know,
too.
man. He's got the one that comes out of the.
Chris, you don't know this is me, and when you see Back to the Future 2, you'll understand this reference. So
right, Pepsi, you have to see the second one, so that's a reason you got to understand where the Pepsi comes from. Dude, there's a lot of stuff, Chris, that you've probably heard, and you're like, shit, I haven't seen that yet because I've only seen the first one, and you're like, oh. That's where that's
literally
from.
I was doing that all night last night, and then especially when it was one of you that said manure biff, and then I saw it and I was like,
oh yeah, we were talking about that was CMB talking about the manure.
I was like, we need to get a manure biff hot toys.
Matt says we have to do a live stream watch party. I don't know if YouTube would allow that, but I'd love to do it. I think they'd probably shut my stream down.
I'd love to see Chris's reaction live while he's watching Back.
That's like, dude, that's like when I watch my girlfriend watch Star Wars for the first time.
Like, we don't have to sync it and watch it on our own.
Oh no! Look who's here.
Camera.
We're doing something
during it.
Right. If we got the dating bot, we're doing well. The Tinder bot's here. Anyone successful with Back to the Future conversion therapy? I think Chris is. I think Chris is successful. He's already making a purchase of 2 figures in a DeLorean after 1 film. So. Euler said, can I both simultaneously hate you for not seeing it, yet also love that you just saw it and loved it? I think we can. I think Chris, he does not get it. There's no excuse that he's just now seen it. There's no excuse for it. But we love that he's not only seen it, but he also has found a love for the film as we have. And he hasn't even seen like I said, he hasn't even seen 2 or 3 yet. So he's in for a wild ride. I think
crazy, man. My kid has seen it, all 3 of them before Chris.
That is crazy.
Does it explain? Because I was curious about this too. Does it explain how he got it to levitate? That's one question. And 2,
explains it.
It never does. It eventually explain how Doc and Marty even met?
No.
Yeah,
and you don't
never know how they actually met.
And you don't need to know.
Yeah, because you
just know that they've met. Chris.
Cool,
that's all you need to know.
Curious.
All right, guys. Now, while we're still talking about Back to the Future,
but you will get the explanation on why the car is the way it is.
Right.
Let's now after we stared at that photo, I gave you guys enough time to look at that photo. Let's look at this one now. Now, I guarantee you can't unsee the new changes that were made to the DeLorean. Look at this huge gap in the wheel well. Look how low the wheels are sitting.
Mm-hmm.
That's
low,
very, very low. And then also, as Ryan pointed out, you could see the struts going up are black. And look how goofy that looks compared to it being all clear. Definitely some really nice changes that they made. Again, like Ryan said, in the promo photos, you can see everything's light up here, the flux capacitor.
Look at the paint app of the silver on the DeLorean. From
it's a different shade of silver.
The final one, it's got a brighter hue to it.
Yep.
It's crazy in 85 to I was laughing to think they thought that 88 miles per hour was like fast or whatever, and it
Well,
took
hey,
forever.
hey,
No,
at the
no,
time.
no, no. Actually, they didn't. That was the joke. Like the DeLorean came out saying that it was going to be a fast ass car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It only did 88, but it could only get to 88 if it was going downhill, while other cars were actually exceeding 88 miles an hour, and they costed way less than a DeLorean. That was the whole running joke about it in the 80s.
And bonus points, what was the original in the original script? What was the actual original time travel device? Because it wasn't the DeLorean. What was the original?
Oh, you got me there. I don't know that.
If anyone knows.
And we'll give the chat 10 seconds to answer. And while we're doing that, I just want to point out, as Ryan said in the promo photos, the time circuit and everything and all the cluster and everything is all lit up here. So let's hope that carries over to this final product, because like Ryan said, that's going to be like the absolute cherry on the top, especially that this is USB powered. I hope this isn't like photoshopped. I really, really do hope that this is one of the features. All right, guys, you ran out of time because we're not going to let you Google it. Ryan, give us the answer.
A refrigerator.
Wow, I would have never guessed that.
In the original script, the time machine was supposed to be a refrigerator.
And if you want to get
some Chronicles of Narnia type stuff right there.
Actually a power converter and a laser inside of the refrigerator that was the device.
You know they're doing a TV show on Narnia now?
I don't know if I want to watch that. I actually didn't mind the movies, but I don't know if I would watch a TV show. Yeah, dude. I don't like Ryan. I'm really hoping this is real. I mean, it looks like real LEDs, but you know what they do with the refrigerator truck ?
Just a refrigerator you can get inside.
Refrigerator truck, that'd be interesting. A refrigerator. What if it was a full-on refrigerated truck, like when they transport meat? That'd be cool. I'm glad that they arrived on this, though. I'm glad they arrived on this. But it's beautiful, man. Like I said, those updates really, really changed things for this piece. I mean, a lot of us were going to get it anyway, but like Cigars pointed out, they also changed the shade of silver and made that more correct. I think overall, a lot of us are very pleased because we just, like you said, we were just getting very discouraged after seeing that Doc Brown. You're like thinking to yourself, like, man, is this actually going to happen anymore? Because we were certain that they were going to, and then we saw the Doc Brown and we're like, dude, if they did Doc like that, are they going to fix a DeLorean? But lucky for us, they did, and we're very happy about it. So, guys, yeah, that's all we have in terms of information for the DeLorean. Once again, January 3rd, it will start going out to collectors in Hong Kong. Actually, that post we showed you, there's actually instructions on how to pick it up. I know Monica, who lives in Hong Kong, also told me that they were offering free shipping on the DeLorean, which is pretty crazy considering how expensive it was. Free shipping within the country. But definitely really, really cool indeed. Blackbird Tech, good to see you. Yeah, we wish. Blackbird Tech, good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. 160 said, I'll be pleased when I see TW is going to charge for shipping. Yeah, I'm very curious what they're going to charge as well. I mean, they charge what, like $100 for a larger figure box right now?
I think I've had people look at it already and say it was $200. That's
a lot, man. That's a figure right there. That's a figure. I mean, Sideshow, it's like what, 40? Do we know yet what the shipping?
I'm in the East Coast, and it's $52 for me, and I'm in New Jersey, so it's pretty much.
So that's probably what it is for me then, because I'm in the East Coast.
With shipping and tax, my final, I'm at 101.
Still, Trevor, $200. That's insane, man. That's a lot of money. That's a lot. I mean, Lane was telling us last stream about how expensive it is to ship some of these statues. I'm like, dude, I could never. $350 to ship a statue, dude. I could never do it.
Light nowadays. If it's Prime 1, it's because Prime 1's usually 2 boxes. So
that's not like bad.
But no, it's 2.
No, I'm talking about the collector's comment. He said 32 to 36.
Wow, 280.
DeLorean. That's not bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with like Prime 1 statues, you got to pay per box. So if
shipping
on one box is like, let's say one box is $250, the next box is gonna be $2, so it's $500 in shipping.
You got to give it to statues collectors, man, because that's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
That dude, why do you think I was like, and I got to minimize and refocus
and I'm spent.
My stuff. That's why I was like, no more Prime 1. I'll just focus on Star Wars premium formats from Sideshow.
Oh, sorry. The collector said normal. Good. Okay, so then the DeLorean, I was about to say, that's a good price. Yeah. The DeLorean's probably going to be like double that then.
Mm.
Yeah. Prime was just getting way too expensive for me. Their shipping kept going up. So I was like, I got to back out of that. So, which is fine. Just helps me focus and and really focus on what I want instead of spreading myself too thin, because that's what I was doing.
It's hard not
But to bring
right
up
now.
what Ryan said when he brought up that.
Oh, by the way, before we move on, who took this photo?
Mr. Mom.
Yeah, who took this beautiful photo? Look at me over here loving the photo because it's great. Yeah, guys, Ryan, why don't you talk before we move on? We're about to move on for Back to the Future, but before we do, Ryan, why don't you kind of tell us what you did over the weekend or over this past
freezing
weekend?
Freezing my ass off Christmas night at 11 o'clock at night.
Yes, on Christmas night, Ryan was telling me, like, dude, I think I'm going to go take these photos tonight because he's been talking about it for a little bit. And I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do it tonight.
Yeah. No, I had a JC Penney's around the backside of my house, like in walking distance. So I was laying on the ground. I was literally, I think I put a YouTube short up of me doing it because I was laying on the ground at like 11 o'clock. I did a YouTube. Yeah, I was at 11 o'clock at night on Christmas. After I was done with Christmas and eating and everything. I was like, let me go out and do these photos. I was laying on the ground taking these photos real quick until my fingers froze. So for like a half hour. So it was fun. It was a good photo.
It's beautiful, dude. It turned out great. But yeah, so Ryan,
it just proves how awful the head sculpt is because
the shininess.
It's just hard, and that's just with editing to an extent. There's another photo I did of just Doc by himself where I actually edited out the slits in the eye in the hair, like that is just left natural. But just goes to show you, back to my point about the head sculpt, just how difficult it is. And I'm trying to get frames. Like I was using a frame from the movie as reference, obviously, and that's like them getting ready to. Well, as the quote says, that's like supposed to be from the movie. And it just stinks, like I said, from a photography standpoint, that head sculpt, it was very, it's as good as what it can be, but that's it.
So. Yeah, you did a great job, dude. And I'm excited. I know you're going to go back, like you said, when you get the Delorean and take some more shots. So I don't pity you for having to carry that thing to JCPenney, but I know it'll pay off in the end. But guys, let's move on.
When Ryan brought up that trivia, it gave me a flashback. You guys remember that 1985 movie, My Science Project?
I don't. What is it about? Who's in it? Anybody recognizable that I would know?
Hold on, I gotta bring it up. I just like when he brought up that actual the trivia. For some reason, it just popped into my head about that whole movie. Because it came out the same year as like Weird Science, Back to the Future, Real Genius. Let's see. Dennis Hopper was in
it. Doc is just okay. I haven't seen it. I don't think I have. If I have, I don't recognize it by the name, if that makes sense. Matt says Doc is just a heavy sweater.
It's like a group of high schoolers, and they come into possession of like this device that can it opens up basically like time portals and dimensional things too. So it's like bringing things like they bring in a T-Rex, into present time and things like that. They bring in things from like they bring in ancient Greek stuff, and it goes through. It's just a mixture of stuff. It just reminded me. It's a good movie. Like if you've never seen it and you're into 80s movies, I would
have to check it out. I haven't seen that one yet.
I just remember watching it as a kid and being, because like I said, it came out with like Weird Science, Real Genius, Back to the Future, Howard the Duck. It was all during that whole era of the 80s when like time travel and dimensional was like the big things in for sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
So like, if you like Back to the Future and all that, then definitely check out My Science Project. It's a good one.
I'll definitely check it out for sure. Guys, Euler says, so we're talking about Avatar 2 real quick because believe it or not, Hot Toys has teased a Jake Sully from Avatar 2. And not only that, if you look closely, he's actually sitting on a specific creature that we see in Avatar 2. Basically, it's like what I imagine this is, and Cigars and I have been talking about. I think this is like the C version of the Ikron in Back to the Future. I'm saying Back to the Future. In Avatar 2, we're talking so much about Back to the Future. In Avatar 2, you see him riding on like a C version of the Ikron. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but you'll see him riding on a C version of that creature. And I think that's what this is. So this is really exciting. If you guys don't know, I think the original Jake Sully from the first film came out in 2013. So it's been a minute. And that one I know had joint issues. A lot of people said that the joints were breaking on him. And I recently rewatched Avatar 1 in preparation to see the second one. And I was like, damn, do I really have to hunt down the original Jake Sully now? But lo and behold, Hot Toys has my back, and there's a new Jake Sully. And I actually prefer this look as well It's a little bit more toned down. It doesn't have all that ceremonial gear and stuff, so you can see more of his face. And I really do like that. But what Oilers is talking about, I'm not going to say what happens in the scene, but there is this like crab mech, and it literally looks like moves and looks like a crab in terms of its shape. That would be really cool. I agree. I thought that was a really cool piece of engineering in that scene. I really liked it. KJ Smith said My Science Project is a great movie.
See?
I have to see it. I'll watch it. I promise you guys to check it out.
You have to watch it, dude. You'll dig it.
The 1/6 Jake, dude. I was telling my friend this earlier. I think the original 1/6 scale Jake Sully was 18 inches, which is crazy. And they don't specify if that's on the stand or not on Sideshow's old listing. But even still, let's say he's on the stand. That accounts for what, like an inch? So a 17-inch figure, if that is him on the stand, that's a big figure. So if you have D-Talk, you're gonna have to remove a shelf. You're gonna have to remove a shelf because you guys don't know the Na'vi, or like if you've seen the films, you know they're way 9 feet tall. They're bigger than Spartans, dude. They're massive.
I just watched Avatar the other day on TV, and Jake says, yeah, the Avatars and the Na'vi, you know, they're humanoids, but they're 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So when he's explaining like what they are and stuff, when he's narrating,
right. To Collector says I'm a whale thing.
Yeah.
That
was
would be
the first thing I noticed with this teaser, though. Like that was the first thing I noticed was the animal. I was like, that's not like something that they built for the photo. That's not Photoshop.
Nah, he's on that. He's on that thing.
Like that's a figure. Like you can see the saddle. Like the saddle, it's all like, you know, it's been made. It's like it's either material or it's plastic. It's mixed media. So you could tell that with this Avatar figures lineup, we might be actually getting call it, I guess, organic vehicle, a living vehicle.
Right, exactly. The mounts and stuff that they ride. And it's interesting here, as we were talking about it the other day, they actually mentioned 1/6 scale figures. So, dude, if we get Jake's wife, what's her name, Natiri? If we get his wife, I mean, he's got multiple kids. I don't need the kids, but if we get the corporal, the main enemy, that would be really cool.
You mean the general?
No, the corporal.
The colonel.
Colonel. Sorry, I'm saying corporal. Yes, the colonel. If we get the general, actually, surprisingly enough, was played by the same woman who played Tony Soprano's wife in The Sopranos. That was an interesting catch for me when I first saw her pop up. I'm like, oh, that's Tony Soprano's wife. Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is supposed to be making an appearance in one of the movies where he's the actual like top general that leads the entire forces. So I don't know if he's coming into play for 3, 4, or 5, but they did say that Arnold Schwarzenegger was supposed to be like he's supposed to be like the big dude that's in charge of the entire military forces.
That'll be interesting. That's cool. No, it's not rooted hair because these are braids that he has. He has braids in the film, so it's just the braids hanging down behind his back, so it won't be rooted hair. And Matt says, "Hey, that's true." Matt says, "Hey, this isn't Mace Windu." I know it's not, but hey, the thing is, I think this is a tease. They're just telling us, sending this to let us know, like, hey, we're working on Avatar stuff. Kaiju, I would say we get at least 2. I would say we get Jake and his wife, and I'm confident that we'll get at least 2 because again, it does say figures. I know in the past we only got Jake Sully from the first film, but I just think that we're gonna get more than 1. I really do.
Me too.
Justin Bird says this figure looks good. Hope we get more. Once again, I do think we'll get at least 2. If we get
Jake and the Colonel, just because
that would be cool. The Colonel looks awesome as a Na'vi, like as an Avatar character. I
gotta watch the movie because I gotta see why and how he survived and got turned into.
I think it was and of course I won't share, but I think it was explained well. I really do, and it's not what I was expecting. It's not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think you guys will like it. I really did enjoy it. Was it a perfect 10 out of 10? No, but
exactly Blackbird Tech. That's exactly why Arnold said he was doing this movie was because him and James Cameron go way back.
Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense to see them working together, you know.
And it would make sense that he would be playing like an old grizzled general in charge of everything because he's an old man now.
Right.
So, and I mean, Arnold always plays that like really well roles like that, like, you know.
Now for the fun part, everybody who was waiting for the Inart talk, here we are. So guys, for those of you that don't know, the Inart Joker is now being distributed to customers who are in China and Hong Kong who directly pre-ordered from Inart. So if you bought from Spec Fiction in the US or 1/6 Kit, those, as far as I know, have not had any ramblings about being shipped yet. Those are probably, I would imagine, at least end of January, early February before we start seeing them from Spec Fiction and such. But shout out to Big Brita. He's another YouTuber, another content creator. He's on Instagram and YouTube. This is his video. He actually has it in hand. And he's kind of showing us off. Unfortunately, he didn't go through the articulation and such because it's his personal copy, and I understand he doesn't want to crease the suit and stuff. But he did at least show us the figure and what it looks like in hand. So we're going to check that out here now. This is not the Last Airbender. I did not know that we were waiting for Last Airbender figures. I definitely wasn't paid, and I don't know about you.
Because of the Avatar.
They certainly have, but think about it this way. They're giving us the full Bad Batch. I'm certain that we're going to get the rest of the Bad Batch members. They're going to give us all the Inquisitors. We recently saw the Inquisitor on display, which actually we never pulled that up. Maybe we'll pull that up towards the end, but I do think that they'll probably consider doing at least 2 from the Avatar film. I really do.
Because that's been their record lately, is even if a movie does kind of I wouldn't say because Avatar didn't do bad, but I mean, look at Eternals. Eternals didn't do good at all, and we still got 2 figures from that.
That's a
She-Hulk, She-Hulk bombed, and we're getting 2 figures from that. So it looks like even if the movie does bad, the minimum is 2 figures.
Yeah,
is what we're getting lately.
Yeah. So guys, as Chris pointed out, this is a giant box. Let's kind of like fast forward a little bit. It's cool. They include like a little letter in here. That stuff doesn't do anything for me, but it's cool since it's like a professional presentation. I get it, but that doesn't do anything for me. I want to see what's in the box.
I mean, that's cool right there is that card, but
yeah, I will say that's cool. I like the coloring of it, and I like this is cool. If you go back on your figures, you're like, oh, when did that figure come out? That's clever. It has the time and everything that they officially released it. That's cool. I'll give them that. I'll give them that.
It looks like I like the straps on the foam too. That has like that statue feel packaging.
Yes, the statue. Yep.
I like that. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, you could thank Queen Studios for that though.
Let's see this.
Inart wasn't even thinking about that.
If you got
Queen Studios was like, put them straps in.
Let's discuss who was the guy in the Squid Game outfit who did the unveiling for Inart. Yeah. I have an idea who was that masked man. I think it was Justin or maybe Spider. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was me. How do you know it's not me? How do you know I wasn't in the mask? No, I have no idea. I'm very curious, man. I guess it's just somebody that doesn't like being on camera. Still only Kate from Hawkeye, though, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that one definitely stings because I'm waiting for that purple suit Hawkeye. I love that look. That's my favorite Hawkeye look. But I still think it's going to happen. I do. I think it's going to happen.
Only care for
I mean, they made a point to show him. I know there have been times where they show people in the background and then the figure doesn't come out. But I mean, why go to the trouble of putting Hawkeye in the new outfit from the show and you're not going to release him?
And again, Hot Toys lately, and Kaiju is right. In the past, we've been teased with a lot of stuff and it never happened. I mean, look how long it took them to give us Padme. Look how long it took to give us Cyborg. And those were like Hail Marys. Like we didn't know we were going to get those finally. And still, we don't have Baze Malbus. We never got Poe Dameron. There's a lot of stuff that's been shown off that we haven't received. So I will say, I also really like this instruction booklet. This is really nicely done. I'll give him that. This is something different. I like the full color. You got to give him credit for that. And this does show articulation, which is interesting because again, we don't see much of that in Burrito's video just because on his personal copy, he didn't want to go too crazy, but I do think this is a nice looking instruction booklet. I'll give him that. I like the little, like that like see-through paper on the front. That's cool. Peyton said it could be John. Maybe it was John. John's just tired of getting yelled at in all these streams. So I guess maybe he didn't want to be seen. But I don't think he's really that close with the product, honestly. I think he's like
because whoever was in that whoever was hidden was a lot taller than John.
Yeah, that's probably somebody that actually works on it. Now, I will say I am kind of a fan of this, like
I like that
statue-esque packaging. I do like this, and the fact that everything's individually wrapped, that's nice as well.
I like that too. That's nice.
Statue.
It gives me the statue vibe because that's how statues come. They come in that hard styrofoam and they're
with the straps and everything.
No, I don't know.
And then they come in their own little placeholders, and then each piece is wrapped up. It's just how statues come. But like I said, that's a given because Inart is partnered with Queen Studios.
Right. They're kind of deriving from their roots,
Yep.
And this is cool too. I like, and normally I'd be like, that's kind of annoying, but because of this magnetic head system they're using where it's so easy to put on, I do like that they're separating it and kind of displaying it in its own container. With that being said, this kind of does raise shipping. This box is a little bigger than it needs to be, but I feel like the jail cell base is what kind of expands the size of the packaging. So they just kind of made it big enough to fit everything. I get it, but this is really cool.
Well,
I do like
if
these
you look
individual
at the shape of the, if you look at the shape of the box, it's actually their logo.
Yeah, that's what the box is.
That's true. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even connect the dots. That's cool.
It's their logo.
That's cool. I do really like this. It kind of reminds me of Futurama in a way, just seeing these little heads inside the containers. But this is cool, and I like this kind of like
somebody. If somebody's getting the rooted and they don't want one of those jars, send it to me because I'm going to put my Scott Lang head in there and buy a cake.
Oh, there you go.
Do the what if Ant-Man
That's hilarious
from the zombie episode.
That's hilarious. Okay, for that price, shouldn't we get a package like that? Yeah, I mean, for the price, it should be. But honestly, if we take the rooted out of the equation, just the sculpted, I think the price is fair at $620. I think for 2 figures, you get the jail cell base with a full die cast. But I know Ryan is going to bring up a point here that kind of, when he explained it to me the way he did, I'm like, you're right. I mean, if you look at it that way, you are right. Monica says it's 11 kilograms. Jeez, that's a lot, man.
So you want me to tell you my theory behind it so the whole panel can hear what we're talking about?
Yeah, go for it, for sure.
So I have to say this and tread water lightly because I'm not trying to be an Inart hater where, okay, the product's out and now it's like, where's the next set of excuses? I am not getting this figure just because of A, cost, and also B, I'm not a real huge fan of Heath Ledger's Joker. I think it's good. It's just not my particular character. That's all. And I had to choose between the Delorean and this. And me, I'm going to go Delorean. I just spent $900 on the Delorean. I can't put out another 1,000 or 600 on this. I just can't do it. It's fine. It's whatever. That being said, I'm looking at everything here, and now, now that we can see this, for all those who jumped on board before the product's out and made assumptions, well, now I feel like I can make assumptions that the product is out. And what I'm seeing from here is everything looks fantastic. The figure looks great. It looks like they delivered what they said they were going to do. Props, 100%. You got it. My question now, looking at this, is this level of quality sustainable going forward on future figures? What I mean by that is 2 things. For me, and I mean Mr. Mom as a collector, I'm sorry, is that you get the base that's wooden boards that's made out of wood. That doesn't do anything for me personally. Cool, because it's real wood, but it doesn't actually do anything for me. Like in terms of like, oh, that's great because it's just a display piece. And the metal jail cell, it's made out of real metal. That's cool, but that doesn't do anything for me because it's just going to sit there. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to actually do anything. It's just like how I don't think the DeLorean should be metal. It doesn't do anything. So it's just there. That being said, how much of those parts went into the increased cost of the product, where if they didn't do that stuff and made everything die cast, you probably would have had realistically a rooted 2-pack that would have been a lot more reasonably priced than what it is. Because yes, you're paying for everything die cast. Absolutely everything is premium, but how much of it was realistic? And I get why they did it, because they wanted it to be like, this is our, I feel like the bar is set very high. I'm very interested to see how long it can stay that way. And then my final thought is the rooted hair. I mean, I'm sorry, the sculpted hair. I'll say it doesn't look good. It doesn't. And I think everybody kind of agrees with that. And those who are really in it are really supporting Inarts. I've even seen them tiptoe around waves because they're not talking about it. Oh, we'll just go for the rooted hair. Let's talk about the rooted hair. No one's talking about sculpted because I think everyone agrees it doesn't look good. So it's almost like, I think if they dropped the price of the rooted and got rid of sculpted, I mean, everyone probably would have bought the rooted one at a better price, realistically. But that's just my opinion after seeing all this. But I really hope that they adopt those magnetic joints on the hands. I really do. I really hope Hot Toys does something, because that's unbelievable. It looks great. Absolutely great. So, and then you brought up a point about that.
Yeah. So
weapons.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about this earlier, and guys, going off of what Ryan was saying, you guys know I pre-ordered the sculpted 2-pack, and from some of the photos I've seen, that's the one thing I'm not very impressed about. I do think the sculpted hair looks a bit thick. I'm very curious to see what it looks like in person. You guys know I'm a much bigger fan of sculpted hair, generally speaking, and I'm like, I can't justify an extra $300 for the rooted hair. there are some collectors who are like, why would you not get the rooted hair? And I get it. It is the definitive Joker look with the rooted hair and everything. But for me personally, I just don't like the maintenance and everything involved with rooted hair. I just much prefer sculpted hair. And also, most of the other figures in my collection have sculpted hair, so they just fit better. But with that being said, yeah, the sculpted hair, it hasn't looked great in a lot of photos. And it's a bit unfortunate because that's the version that I pre-ordered. However, you guys know I'm going to get it in hand. I'm going to do a review on it, and I'm going to be honest about it, what I think of it. I will be honest with you. What I'm seeing here, for the most part, looks excellent. It really does. I think the figure looks great. There were some photos that were sent out that made the jacket, or excuse me, the coat look pretty shitty. Not going to lie, those photos weren't the best representation of the figure because Brita took it right out of the box, and the coat looks great. It looks well tailored. It looks well fit. And I think the person who had it in hand most likely was posing it and messing around with it, and they kind of ruffled up the jacket a little bit. And also the collar was uneven in his photos. And me and Cigars were talking about that. So I do think it's like another one of those cases where people are trolling and they want to make the figure look as shitty as possible to get a rise out of people. And they do it with Hot Toys all the time, right? So to Inart's credit, those photos were BS. That did not represent the figure very well. And I think what we're seeing here is a nice product. It does look really nice. But again, like Ryan was saying, and like I was saying, the sculpted hair definitely is a bit disappointing from the photos. Of course, I will save my final judgment when it's in hand, but I'm hoping that it looks better in person than it does in photos because it does look a bit chunky from certain angles. I think Monica actually called it spaghetti hair. Someone explained to me why the pasta sculpted spaghetti hair costs more than Doc Ock and Goblin with the glider.
Yeah, dude, that sculpted hair literally looks like somebody took a green Crayola and just melted it on top of the head.
Yeah, and
I'm not the only one who's thought that either.
I think that's the biggest place where they can improve. I really do. And while we're on it real quick, another thing, and you guys can't hear the audio, but Big Brita had mentioned here that in the center of the base is where the magnet is. So then I'm like, how do you get a dynamic pose out of the figure? And like Ryan said, he's like, you're not supposed to. It's just supposed to be in that like standard, like standing straight up and down pose because that's how the base is designed. And I'm like, I suppose so. Obviously, you don't have to use this base, but I would have preferred if the whole base was magnetic, like it had some sort of plate. But I'm assuming that the magnet that they use, like the strength of the magnet they use, they couldn't get it in that larger size for a good price. I don't know. Like, I don't know why only the center is magnetic, other than the fact that they want you to display it how they want you to display it, essentially, you know?
Which is kind of one of those statue-esque, because this whole figure has statue-esque qualities sprinkled all over it.
It absolutely does.
I would be surprised if that was one of the reasons why, to keep it somewhat out of a dynamic pose, or you're limited to what they're allowing you to make it dynamic to make sure that the figure maintains its quality, which is another possibility. So that's
if you look at the promo photos, though, right? If you look at the promo photos, each one of these figures, because of the magnetic, like how you said, the magnetic base. Yeah. These are pretty much 1/6 scale versions of their quarter scale Heath Ledger Joker statues. Like the pose they have in the promo photos for him with the grenades and his hand holding the string, that's the quarter scale statue that Queen Studios did. Standing straight up with that pose. The sitting on the bench behind the jail bars, that's their other that was their first statue.
Right, so they're basically replicating their other products in 6 scale form.
Yeah, basically they did was they took their quarter scale statues and turn them into 6 scale figures.
Yeah.
I want you to pose them just like their quarter scale statues.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I understand, trust me. And that's kind of what I expected too. It's like we're going to see a lot of carryover from the Queen Studios side of things into this. And I know their goal eventually is to separate themselves and kind of be 2 different entities. But for now, I think we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of carryovers with the packaging, with the materials being used. And Trevor brings up a point here. He said, these are not about cutting costs. It's about making a premium product akin to customs. Custom collectors like things like metal objects and objects being made of metal. And I would agree. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think it's really cool that it's made of real metal and real wood, but I do understand Ryan's point. And I think it's a valid point that he's saying, like, can you imagine if that was left out? But I understand both of what you're saying makes sense to me, you know? And
I respect that opinion. I'm not being decisive in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm saying is I think that the pool of custom collectors is far smaller than the average pool of collectors that probably don't really care about it being metal or that's what I'm saying. But I'm not knocking it. It's fantastic. Like I said, I'm saying that they hit a home run with this figure. I'm on record saying that the figure is a home run. It's just looking at everything there. It's hard for certain people like myself. I'm one that did pre-order this, by the way. I had to sacrifice because of financials because it was too high and I had other commitments. That's all. Otherwise, this is a fantastic product. I think they hit a home run with it. What I do question is, are they able to sustain this? Because they set the bar really high with a fantastic release as their first figure. And that's not coming from someone who's hating. If that sounds like a hater's comment, then I don't know what to tell you. But I'm just saying that they hit a home run. And how do you top a home run? You know, that's what I'm interested in seeing.
No, I get what you're saying.
Gandalf and the Batman and the was it the I'm sorry, the clown, you know,
Pennywise.
Pennywise. Yeah. So I'm interested in seeing how those turn out now, you know.
Yeah. And Trevor, going along with your comment about rooted hair maintenance, it really depends on obviously where you live, but I could tell you firsthand, I've had figures with rooted hair. The hair gets frizzy when it's humid outside and I have to like comb it down. I've had that happen to me with a couple of figures. So I guess it really depends on what the climate is like where you live. Of course, we don't know what sort of products and such Inart is putting on the hair with the Joker, but I based my purchase off of previous experiences, and I have had rooted hair get frizzy on me with other figures. So
same here. So have I.
Yeah. So it depends. I guess it depends on your climate. Cause I mean, you could be right. If you live in an area that doesn't get super humid, it won't be affected at all. But just like human hair, at least with my hair, when it gets humid outside, my hair gets frizzy as hell, you know? So it's like, I'm not surprised that happens similarly with some rooted hair figures that I own. Of course, Inart, we don't know yet because it's a new company. We don't know what products they put on the hair, how it's going to stand the test of time. But again, I base my personal decision off of things that have happened to me in the past, you know.
I love the color of this coat here.
The coat, everything is truly, again, I want to say that, and we're going to talk about the magnetic hands too, that Ryan brought up earlier, but I want to say once again, those photos that were put out of the coat did not do it justice at all. And I want to back up a little bit so you kind of see it in full. The tailoring is fantastic. I mean, if you are familiar with what good tailoring looks like, this is fantastic tailoring.
Unbelievable.
It really is. And a lot of people were getting worried because they were seeing those photos and the collar was off center. It looked chunky in the shoulders. It didn't have that nice tapered look that is signature for Heath Ledger's Joker. So a lot of people were getting worried, but I'm glad that Brita put out this video because this definitely makes me happy. I'm like, if I open my Inart Jokers and this is what the tailoring looks like, I will have zero complaints because this is fantastic. And this is the final product, guys. He has it in hand, you know, so kudos to them on that. This does look really good in terms of the tailoring. They definitely delivered in terms of the tailoring of the body. They definitely delivered. I also want to point out something here. Now, say what you want about Inart, and you can debate what is innovative, what isn't. Is good tailoring innovative? Not really. I mean, it's just a step up from some of the other companies. You know, we could say that. But what is innovative and what I want to see more from other companies is what Inart's done here with the magnetic peg system. Again, I don't have any experience with this in hand yet, but just the general idea of it is fantastic to me. Putting a Hot Toys head sculpt on a body is a pain in the ass most of the time. Taking the hand pegs off is a pain in the ass most of the time. And this isn't just Hot Toys. I mean, perfect example, guys, these 3-0 Stranger Things figures I have, multiple of those pegs just fell apart when I took the hands off. So to see something innovative like this, where it's like, why didn't this company think of that? Why didn't Hot Toys think of that? Why didn't 3-0 think of that? Why didn't Damn Toys think of that? That's really cool. I got to give them that. That's really cool. Now, the one question that I'll pose, or I guess the statement I'll make that'll kind of pose a question to you all is, I want to see how these magnetic hands do with these die-cast weapons. You know, when you have that submachine gun being held in both of his hands, or you have that submachine gun being held in one hand, I kind of want to see in person how strong those magnets are. You know, that's my biggest concern is how strong are those magnets. I love die-cast stuff. I love it. I absolutely love die-cast stuff. I think it's really cool. But I want to see how it performs holding these die-cast weapons. Because like I've said to people before, and I use this example backstage with Ryan, there's a lot of people like, oh, why didn't the Endgame Thor come with a die-cast Stormbreaker? I'm like, dude, he can barely hold the plastic one. It literally, the peg sags when you put it in his hand. So it's like, I do get concerned about anything that includes a die-cast weapon, especially because this is a new system. I really want to see how that performs in person because we didn't get to see that. He did show it articulating and it looked great, but I want to see how it performs in person, you know? Let's see. He said, not all Jokers dance. Speaking from experience, is the sculpted released yet? I believe, yes. I believe they're shipping out orders for everything right now because I have seen some in-hand photos of the Joker, and I would imagine that's from
Well,
collectors.
1/6 said that they don't get their batch until February.
Yeah,
Like their
they're
orders
only
don't come till
exactly. So they're
February.
only fulfilling the Inart specific pre-orders. Anything ordered directly through them. This is also something they're showing off here. This is them taking because this obviously has like a similar rolling eye system that Hot Toys does. This is like the old school Hot Toys rolling eye system where it had the little bar inside. But this is him, Brita, showing how you take that hair piece off the back. So be careful with that, obviously, because that has rooted hair attached to it. Trevor said it is going to be smaller, but this is what they made it to compare it to. Custom work still cheaper than a custom. My custom, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about that. The custom figures are insane. Like I've seen some of the horror custom figures, and like I saw
way too much money, man.
Yeah, dude, I saw a Part 3 Jason Voorhees, and it was like $2,500. So you're not wrong about that. I mean, if you're already paying for those figures, it stings. I guess for when us YouTubers are speaking from a price standpoint, we're thinking about people that typically buy Sideshow Collectibles figures or Hot Toys figures. That's kind of like the pricing we're basing it off of. Monica says, for a first product, it looks good. At least Rooted one does. But the issue with Inart is how they're going about their business. Needing a whole army of resellers to sell shit is yuck. I mean, I think what their strategy is to get a bunch of YouTubers on board because they are aware that a lot of us are skeptical and have been skeptical about them from the beginning. And I think that was their reasoning for getting YouTubers on their side, is because they know a lot of YouTubers a lot of watchers of these channels trust these YouTubers. So it was, I guess, smart in a way for them to get people on their side. But obviously that only created more skepticism because of that, because a lot of people,
it was smart marketing, but it drew a very definitive line.
Exactly.
It's like, what side are you on? You getting or not? And then each side literally criticizes the other in terms of.
Right. And we've talked about this, right? We've talked about this extensively. Like, you're allowed to collect both Hot Toys and Inart. And it's this whole Inart Hot Toys thing is getting out of hand. It's become like, oh, if you like a Hot Toys product, then you don't like quality, or you're broke, or you don't have the money, or vice versa. Some people who collect Hot Toys are like, oh, the Inart figures don't even look that good. And they're trying to put down another collector for liking what they like. You know, at the end of the day, you should be able to buy what you want with your own money and not be criticized for it. Obviously, there are some stinkers, some figures that were like, that's crap. But a lot of people are just saying stuff to hurt other people's feelings and put them down about it. If you don't buy Inart, then you're cheap or what, you know, stuff like that. It's ridiculous. Buy what you want. If you like this figure, for me personally, I bought this figure. I pre-ordered the sculpted 2-pack. I have 200 Hot Toys in my collection. I collect 3-0 figures. I collect Damn Toys figures, you know? So it's like, why does it have to be a divide? I understand that Inart is like becoming a big competitor for Hot Toys, or at least that's what they're trying to do. It's going to take a while for them to keep up with the volume in order to be a true competitor, in my opinion. But in terms of the quality of their product, if I get it in hand and I'm impressed, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'll tell you that I like it, and I won't shun anybody for buying it, or I won't shun anybody for buying Hot Toys. And I think also, if you like the product, you have to admit that it's good. You know, you can't just say there's this big cloud around Inart, so I hate it. It looks bad. You know, you got to be honest. At the end of the day, it's important to be honest about things. Let's see. Strick says, cheers, guys. Good to see you, Trick. I hope, Strick, excuse me. I hope you're doing well. EN says, hey, guys, good point on the guns. Never thought about whether on the hands will be strong enough. Yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, I would imagine that'd be something that they tested out, considering a lot of the photos they have them posed with hanging the gun down with one hand. But I'd like to see how it looks in two hands, you know?
Now, see, the another thing about the pegs, and I asked this a long time ago on another stream, and it looked like when he was posing the feet that those ankle joints might be ratcheted. I don't know if it was just the way he was being careful. It looks like he's kind of been fragile with this whole thing. Yeah. But since it is a magnetic base and you don't have like the crotch grabber or something underneath to support, over time are those ankle joints, you know, get loosened? Is he just going to magnetically and then, you know, kind of like pivot at that ankle and topple
right
over?
And that's going to be our ultimate question with Inart, because they're a new company. It's like,
time will tell.
Where do we go from here? You know, it's like, what's going to happen moving forward? Obviously, we'll kind of gauge that as time progresses. The magnetic base definitely has piqued my curiosity. The magnetic joints, I'm very curious. The magnetic hand pegs and such. I'm very curious to see how they hold up over time. The collector says he collects everything.
Credit cards near that damn base.
But my little right, we don't want to demagnetize it. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, guys. So if you guys can take anything from this, I think the product looks really nice. I'm excited to get it in hand and give a honest review on it. Do I think it looks perfect? No. But is anything really perfect? Not really. We might say that sometimes when we're excited about stuff, but is anything really perfect? No. I think overall it appears that they've delivered on what they have set out to deliver. Again, the sculpted hair is my biggest concern, and I really want to see it in person to make my final judgment on it. Guys, real quick, we're going to touch on Last Chance real quick just to see what we got going on. You know, sometimes we'll check and something pops up, but it doesn't look like there's any activity right now today. Kylo Ren is back. So if you guys missed out on Kylo Ren, he's back for like the 5th time now in the last 3 weeks. So if you haven't grabbed Kylo Ren, definitely check out Sideshow and grab Kylo Ren. If you have coupons and such, I'm sure they'll apply to him, but Kylo Ren is back once again. One figure actually did go to waitlist very quick, and I had posted it in the Facebook group and in the Discord, and it went really fast. And it was so fast, even I sent it to our Hot Toys Hotline group chat that we have, and Chris was like, it's not on Last Chance. And then I'm like, you're right, because it's gone. Like, it sold out so fast. It went to Last Chance, and it didn't even show up on the Last Chance page yet. It was blue screened. It didn't even show up on the Last Chance page, and it was already gone. So if you're curious, guys, this is not the same. Yeah, it was fast. This is not the same as the Mandalorian Boba Fett that's sitting on the throne. This is the Book of Boba Fett. So he's got a different look to him. He's got a different belt. He's got different boots here. It's a different look. I have seen people get some waitlist conversions already for this. So once again, with this craziness going on, if you're not able to pre-order up front, hop on that waitlist because that'll give you the best chance possible to get a conversion if you're in right at the beginning. Let's see. Blackbird Tech says, well, they're probably just the same magnets using statues to key in swap outs and such, which are sturdy. They should last long. I would hope so. And again, my biggest concern is it just holding the SMG with some good, like it's solid, you know, it's not like hanging off or anything. I would imagine they tested that because they really want to do this right. So, but it's something that's still left up in the air for me because I haven't seen it in person. Wonder when the hell Hot Toys is going to put up the Daredevil. Matt would probably tell you very soon, I'm sure. Eclectic Collector, good to see you. Where's Mace? We're hoping for Mace before the new year. Ryan and I are crossing our fingers that by the 31st, we'll see some stuff pop up. And Ryan actually has a bit of a theory, Ryan, if you want to share it before we share our, I have some questions for you all that I didn't prepare you for. So I wanted to throw you off with a few questions, but before we do that, share your thoughts.
Well, no, one thing I was going to say was for those who are talking about waitlist conversions, I'm just giving an update on the Attack of the Clones R2D2. I still have not gotten a waitlist conversion for that. So
and I'm still waiting for Commander Appo. I have not had.
So that just goes to show that these waitlists, if they're out, you know, they may be more tighter than we thought they were. So I was hoping RT, and I joined waitlist on R2 like literally minutes it went out, like minutes. When you guys let me know, like, oh, it's gone, I jumped on waitlist, and just like the battle droid, that flipped within like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
R2 hasn't flipped yet.
The trooper, and then they both flipped like 30 minutes later.
Very quick.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So R2 hasn't flipped for me.
Tremble says he wanted the Book of Boba Fett Boba, but no head sculpt, so I said pass. I mean, the Boba with a throne is fantastic. That's definitely one of my favorite releases this year. That one. So my plan is I'm going to take that sculpt from the Mando Boba on throne and put it on this Boba because I'm recreating the final scene in The Mandalorian when Boba's sitting on the throne and Fennec is leaning against the throne, and he's wearing the helmet in that scene. So I don't need the head sculpt for the Book of Boba Fett one, or excuse me, for the Mandalorian one. So I'm going to throw it on this Book of Boba Fett one. Thankfully, I did get my pre-order in before he went out. Nice. Euler said he got this one. Yeah, dude, I love this look. Honestly, at first, I wasn't sold on the tan boots, but it's grown on me. And I think the proportions are really nice on this one. And plus, this is the Boba Fett that fights Cad Bane. So I'm like, I had to have it fighting my Cad Bane.
Dude, it's funny. Every time you point out the difference in the boots, all I think about is when we went to that convention in DC. And we were just looking at the different cosplayers. Like, oh, is that Mando Fett? Or like,
right. Yeah. I mean, that's how it is now. Hot Toys Collector said, any rumors on what is the next release? The next release, a lot of people seem to be saying Carnage, and the Scarlet Witch from WandaVision. Those are the two most popular ones that everybody are saying that they should be coming out soon. A lot of ramblings were coming out about the Beskar season 2 Mando. So if these are seem to be similar ramblings, I would imagine that's probably the case. It's a battle in time as well, so that would make sense to me. Nothing else other than that, though, that I've heard. But yes, exactly. Some of those wait lists are already full. People are hopping on these wait lists, man. Again, things appear to be changing, but you never know. Jordan says he hates the repaint, but he loves this one. I do think this is a better look, and I love the battle damage on the helmet.
The Tony Stark Mark V suit up got delayed again. It got pushed again.
Yep. Yeah, it seems like they've kind of squeezed in all the releases they can. But hey, like you said before, Sean, this is a record release amount for them. So hats off to Hot Toys for putting out so many releases despite everything that's going on.
I just saw some people post some
81 releases, 42 with head sculpts, and 98.
You gotta give them credit, man. Especially with all the companies out there that have had no choice but to delay, and Hot Toys is still pumping stuff out. You got to give them credit.
Yeah,
others,
agreed.
You know,
I mean, we
at an impressive rate for
gap
sure.
where we barely got anything for a while this year too.
Yep. Euler says he's got
if they didn't
spats.
have
I love
that huge
spats.
gap, we could have had a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, guys. Also, another one that went waitlist. I believe it's on waitlist now. Is the Man with No Name? I think that one went waitlist pretty quick. So if you're interested in the, let me see. I think that one's actually waitlisted now. Yep. Oh no, he's back on pre-order. There you go. He actually went waitlist and went back on pre-order. So guys, if you haven't picked up the Clint Eastwood figure, it seems like Sideshow's kind of doing the same thing with their figures. Now, I will be honest with you. It's less believable that Sideshow is cutting the production on their figures than the Hot Toys stuff. But because it seems like their batches are already pretty small in their products and have been for a while. Because I'm sure you guys remember, like the Ghostface sold out pretty quick. They reissued the Freddy Krueger, that sold out pretty quick. So usually their batches are pretty small. So this one I'm not too sure about in terms of like, are they following the same suit that they are with Hot Toys? But yeah, this one actually was already waitlist. So this is back on pre-order. So if you missed out on that, keep an eye on this. Back to the Future Part. Don't tell me that Back to the Future Part 3 figures are on last chance. Don't you tell me that. Is that what you're trying to tell me here? Matt says, I still like the Mando weathered fet, but this one has a better lower half with tucked in pants. Yeah, like I said, I've grown to like those boots a lot. I think they look great. Tremble said, and paid the government to look the other way. Pandemic. What pandemic orders were? He's talking to orders. Okay. So guys, here's our fun part of the stream where I pose questions to the panel that they don't even know about. Guys, this is our pre-New Year's celebration stream. So I had to throw in some end of the year stuff, right? Now I didn't go too crazy. I just did some basic stuff, but as always, guys, this is a question for the chat as well. So if you want to answer this question, definitely share it with us in the chat. And as I see your comments, I'll read it out as we're going through the panel as well. But here we go. Number one question for everybody on the panel and in the chat is, what is your number one secondary market purchase this year? I'm going to answer first because one set comes to mind that is very special to me. And this was a very easy answer, despite all the cool stuff I've got on the secondary market. And my number one is definitely the RoboCop Alex Murphy 2-pack. That set is absolutely incredible. You guys know I love RoboCop. So I ended up getting the RoboCop Battle Damage and the Alex Murphy 2-pack. Unfortunately, it's not a die-cast RoboCop, but it's still such an incredible set. To have Alex Murphy in figure form is just amazing. And that was the only way to get him. You can only get him in that single set release that they did with Alex Murphy and the Battle Damage RoboCop. So that's going to be my number one secondary market purchase this year. And one that may have caught some of you off guard because you guys know I bought a lot of Marvel and DC stuff on the secondary market this year. Who wants to go next? Who's got their answer? Chris? Ryan? Chris, let's go to Chris. He raised his hand first. Chris, what is your number one secondary? I think I know the answer to this one, and I'll be honest with you if I was right or not.
Well, take a guess. I'll let you know if you're correct.
I'm gonna say the T1000 set.
I was, dude. Literally,
because you know how bad I want that one, and how excited you were when you got it. I'm like, dude, this is a big release for him.
Literally, and it came with so much, and I got it for a good price too. And the only thing that was missing was the sunglasses, which I found on eBay.
There you go. So I mean, the sorrow is now gone. But yeah, that's an incredible set, and it's crazy to think because when you look at that, the amount of stuff he comes with, like you said, I don't think Hot Toys includes that amount of stuff that much anymore. Like Doc Brown looks like he comes with an impressive amount of stuff, but like the bullet blips where you can see the exposed like liquid metal and the head sculpt and everything,
all the weapon,
the finger with the spike,
the swap out arms, the swap out like finger, the 2 head sculpts, one that's splitting, one that's not, 2 different like sets of clothes for the when he's on the bike.
That's a packed release. I still got to get that because I don't even if they do another T1000, it's not going to come with all that stuff. Like that's such a beautiful set. It really is. So I'm not surprised by that one. I'm glad I got that guess because when I thought of you, I'm like, that's what he's going to say because that's such a good release, man. It really is. The Hulkbuster is back again. It showed up on seconds and then it was on last chance. So I guess the Hulkbuster is never truly gone, right? But who's next? CMB. What was your number 1 secondary market purchase this year?
I got the Mando Boba 2-pack for $320 out the door.
Ooh, that's good.
Brand new in box.
A lot less than I spent.
I got really lucky with a lot of things on eBay, like brand new in box, and a lot of the stuff. Like I got Zombie Iron Man for damn near $200 off compared to what Sideshow wanted. I got Anakin on stat for like $180 off compared to Sideshow. Like I got a lot of good deals, so it was kind of hard to pick.
Yeah,
but Boba was
because that's a factor too, right? Is like if you got a good deal, that makes you like the figure even more because you're like, damn, I paid this much for this figure. You know, it definitely helps for sure.
The Boba 2-pack for like $320 out the door was probably the best score I got,
and that's a beautiful set. That set doesn't get enough respect because it's not doing well in the secondary market, but it's beautiful. It really is. I love that set, and I would never sell it. I love that set so much. Oilers is commenting earlier. He said, make less overall, have them hit waitlist sooner, lock on less people to pay full retail is more profitable than over ordering and selling at less later than overpaying on sort. Exactly. And that's what we've been preaching this whole time. Like you got to take this seriously because it makes good business sense, you know? Matt says, this is why people are suspicious of Sideshow. Stock in, stock out. I understand. Trust me, I get it. I understand the suspicion, but we got to wade through the suspicion and look at the facts sometimes, you know. Oilers says his were, before we get to Ryan, Oilers says his were Gwen and Miles. He paid $100 on a retail for them together and free ship. You can't go wrong with that. And I've seen a lot of people that say Miles Morales, specifically the movie one, is the figure of the year for them. So I'm not surprised to hear you say that because everybody says that's a fantastic figure. And I will say, when I look at all of the animated sculpts they've done, I think that's the best looking one, and it translates the best personally, compared to like Captain Carter and such, you know. Treble says Days of Future Past Wolverine on the secondary market. Dude, that's a great figure, and that's one that kind of shot up even more after we got this new Wolverine. So really, really cool to see you got that, dude. That's awesome. The collector got Mud Trooper for $200. That's a steal. I mean, Mud Trooper historically, even when because you guys know that's one that sold out before it hit waitlist. And at the time, that was like an anomaly, you know? It was like, holy crap, this never happens. And that one was selling for $350, $400 for the longest time. It recently has taken a hit, but still $200. That's a lot. Or excuse me, that's not a lot. That's a great deal. Before we move on to more, let's move on to Ryan. Ryan, what was your number 1 secondary market purchase this year?
It's actually coming tomorrow. I think you know what that is. That is the a personal grail that I've been chasing for the last, I'll probably say, year. Is the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. So it's not the 40th anniversary. It's the original one. I got that for $280. So
right, which is, guys, that's like retail with taxes and shipping.
Yeah, you saw the pictures of it. It looks pretty.
And I told Ryan, I mean, that was one of my first Hot Toys. And to have that original black box is really cool. It really is. And
you put me at ease because at first I didn't realize. I thought it was the 40th anniversary. Like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh crap. But then I looked at it and you're like, no. It's a good one. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's like I was telling Ryan, those releases, that's a true reissue. Those are the exact same figure. I've compared them. I'm like, I can't find anything different with them. They're the same figure, just different packaging. And that's such a fantastic figure. I mean, you guys know that's a special figure for me. It's my favorite look for Boba Fett, always will be, which I know a lot of people love that multicolored jetpack that's like reminiscent of Django's paintwork on his jetpack. But me personally, I absolutely love the all green Empire Strikes Back look. And also the moments of Boba Fett in the all green look from Empire Strikes Back. He's no good to me dead. You know,
well,
like
as you know, I have the Han Solo and Carbonite.
Right. So you needed the Empire Strikes Back.
So when I got that, it was just perfect pairing that I got them both literally within a day apart of each other in a deal.
And that's what kicked you into gear, I think. I think that's what you needed to be like, all right, it's time to get this.
I couldn't get one without the other, so I had to secure them both.
Exactly.
I still don't have a Boba. I'm waiting. I'm hoping Return of the Jedi, they do another.
Noble Young said, I'm changing. My name to Inart's Hotline and Cigars and Bacon is broke. Damn, that's messed up. Hey, if you saw, you got to remember, Cigars, when he buys stuff, he not only buys it for himself, but sometimes he has to buy some for his kids. So Cigars is spending some money. He might not brag about it. He's spending some money, dude. He's spending more money than I am. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a bragger.
Yeah, that's for sure. Kylo was when Connor showed them. HB gone. Oh, he's gone now. Nice. I know this happened with you can't blame us, though. Some people were joking around saying it was our fault that the shiny clone trooper showed out, even though it's not the true shiny. I know, but people are blaming us. But I'm like, dude, if it's up there, I got to let you guys know. I don't even think about myself when that happens. I immediately post when I see it. I post it wherever I can. I post it on Facebook, post it in the Discord, because I want you guys to be able to get it just like I want to be able to get it. And it's not going to sell out the moment I post it, you know? So I wish I had that amount of power. I definitely don't. No one cares what I have to say. Let's see. What else we got here? Matt said, I got the throne separately from the Boba Deluxe for 150 on HK release. Wanted that sweet throne. Dude, that's a great price for just a throne. And Lane pointed this out right when he first got it, and I was so happy that he wasn't full of crap when I got mine. That throne is solid, dude. It's not hollow. It's solid. It's really, really nice quality. It really is. And I was surprised because you know how all these toy companies, that's how they cut corners. They make stuff hollow. So I was very surprised to see it wasn't.
Dude, when I was helping you move your stuff, I remember I picked it up. And
yeah, you're like, damn. Yeah, it's substantial. It really is. Unstuck Time. How you doing, by the way? Unstuck in Time. Although I did luck out with the Arena Boba Fett when they dropped its Sideshow. There's something else to that. I'm holding out for Return of the Jedi Boba Fett too. Yeah, I mean, guys, if I had to guess, that'd be one of the ones that we're definitely going to get another issue of is a Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. I don't know if they'll give us the Sarlacc base again, but I do think regardless, what I would like to see is like a Boba, like as he was about to get thrown into the Sarlacc pit. So like his blaster is cut in half, like something like that, you know, something different. But I don't know if they'll give us the Sarlacc base again, because you know how, perfect example, Bespin Luke, that awesome antenna base, they took it out. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same. I mean, that's typically what they do. Tactical Batman, we don't get the that awesome mother box. I was really sad about that. I'm like, oh, dude, here's my chance to get the Earth mother box that I'm missing. Didn't get it, so it's unfortunate. But Sean, if you're here, what is your number one secondary market purchase of this year?
Yondu Deluxe, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Really?
Nice. Now, I know you're kind of slimming down your collection, and that one might be leaving you. Which surprises me. If that's your number one purchase, is it just when you look at your overall vision, you're like, as much as I love this figure, he's just not going to fit with my vision moving forward. Is that kind of where your realm of thinking is right now?
No, right now I'm just holding off on everything. So that's
fair. People don't understand. You buy a lot of troopers and stuff, and you got to double and triple up because you like army building. So that's a lot of money. So you really do have to focus a lot.
But now also now that I've decided to move my desk upstairs, I got to redesign my basement.
Yeah.
And everything too. So that actually opens up a lot more possibilities there, especially with the moving my couches out of the wall and putting them in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
There's that there. You know, I'm optimistic about the N1 Starfighter.
I am too.
So I have a spot there where
damn, Sean's like, I'm already making space for it.
Through. You know, it's going to be actually so how like I'm not in my basement right now, but where my basement's basically an L shape because I had to put it around where the utility room is. And basically in the center of where the L-shaped part comes out is where I'm going to put the N1. Because I think it's like between 4.5 to 6 feet long. If it's an actual 1/6.
So it'll basically, if it's within those parameters, you got room for it.
Yeah. So I can just put some Bestas on the ground there and put some lights inside of there and light up some other stuff there and put that on top.
Nice. Very cool. I'm excited to get that. I'm going to have to hang mine from the ceiling most likely just because it's so giant. But I actually kind of look forward to that. I think it'll look cool, you know. Chris is laughing at it, but he knows, dude. Even with these new shelves, I'm taking up some space, man. Let me read a couple more comments here. It's Eric says, I got Boba Arena waitlist conversion on December 14th. That's a late conversion, so that's awesome. Congratulations on that. I love that figure. Everyone said I would get a defector, a pass around. Everything was good. No broken or missing pieces. I was about to go to the secondary market. Congratulations on that, because getting that for retail compared to like $350, $400, which is what he's come down to, is really good. I'm really happy for you. I love that figure. I really do. It's one of those figures. It's a repaint, but it's more special than a repaint because of the story behind it. You know, I don't think I read this comment. Yes, Ian says, man, RoboCop is fantastic. I got the battle damage RoboCop last year, dude. He's incredible. Even though he's not die cast, he still has some okay weight to him, and it doesn't feel cheap. You know, my best secondary purchase this year is 100% Black Suit Superman from the Snyder Cut. Love that figure. I just got that set, and honestly, that got moved up on my list of like releases that I got in hand for the year. Like, that set's beautiful. And not only that, I also acquired the Justice League Superman this year, and the Black Suit Superman, the arms go so much closer to the sides. Like, that's a huge improvement. They go, and I was just looking at them the other day. I had noticed, I'm like, wow, these go a lot closer to the sides. You guys know that a lot of people were modifying their Superman and like dremeling the underarms out, like the sides under the arms, so the arms can go closer. And Hot Toys is like, we got you. We're going to fix it with this next one. And they did. I wish they would have done that for the Justice League Superman, but it is really nice that they fixed that. Ultron Legion for $160. That's another great deal. Great price. Got lucky on buy, sell, trade. And is that what I'm reading? Got lucky on BTS and got buy, trade, sell. Yeah, same thing. And got DS Anakin for $450. Just dumb luck. That's a great price, dude. Considering what he's been selling for, that's a fantastic price. And that is the #1 figure in my collection. So congratulations on that. But guys, if you want to continue to answer this question, if you're a little behind on the stream, feel free to throw it in the chat and I'll try to grab it when it pops up. But the next question we're going to move on to is, what is your #1 pre-order this year? I'm going to start, guys. I kind of cheated because I was over on 1/6 figure focus a couple weeks ago, and this question was asked to me. But it's an easy one for me to answer because this is one that was a hole in my collection. Now, you might think, oh, Connor's probably going to say Attack of the Clones Anakin, or he's probably going to say RoboCop. But no, because the reason I say no is because as much as I adore those characters, I already have an iteration of them in my collection. But what I don't have in my collection is a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man figure. So #1 pre-order for this year for me is going to be the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Now, I know the head sculpt's not perfect. It could use a bit of tweaking and such, but still, I can't stress how important the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy is to me. So to finally have that figure to finally have a Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in my collection that has proper proportions, it doesn't have the thick thighs or the aging suit and stuff, I'm really, really excited for that. So I got to give that to my #1 pre-order. Because also, guys, seeing No Way Home and seeing Tobey again in No Way Home is what got me to branch off from just Star Wars. So that figure is very important to me for that reason. So my #1 pre-order this year is definitely going to be that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Who's got their answer? Chris, Ryan, CMB, anybody got their answer?
Ecto-1 Afterlife.
There you go. Hey, that's what I was not expecting. So tell us why the Ecto-1 Afterlife is so important to you.
Well, I love Ghostbusters, but because it's basically the only thing I pre-ordered this year. Everything else, I usually wait for it to come into stock.
That's true. That's an expensive one, but I know a lot of people who missed out on that first Ecto-1. This was like a godsend for them. So I'm sure that was kind of that way for you. I know you immediately were like trying to figure out like, all right, how do I do this? And I know that one's tough because, I mean, what is the retail price on that one? Like $1,800?
$1,900.
Yeah, it's pricey, but I'm sure once you actually get it in your collection, you're like, dude, this is worth every penny. You know, it's like one of those things. Once you get it in hand, you're like, damn. Yeah, that was worth it.
I'm still paying it off, but it'll be worth it once it's all paid off and in my hands.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right. Great answer, by the way. Chris, what is your number one pre-order this year?
Bit of a struggle here. So I got an honorable mention of Kate Bishop because, I don't even really pre-order anything unless I'm dead set on it or excited. But
yeah,
Kate Bishop, just because I'm a Haley Steinfeld fan. And then it's kind of a toss-up tie between Vader and Carnage. Vader because he's my favorite, but I've been super, super excited about Carnage. Not only because he's like bigger than Venom, and Venom's pretty imposing, but it also comes with that bust of Tom Hardy, like the hat.
Yeah, that's a really cool accessory. I like that. I would like to see them do that more, so you can kind of make use of that extra sculpt, that you're not using. That's really cool. But yeah, that's a great one, dude. I mean, I think, and hey, since we're doing honorable mentions, I might as well mention mine.
Here we go.
Look, I love honorable mentions because it's like, how do you narrow it down to just one? And I told myself, I'm not going to bring in honorable mentions. I'm not going to do it. But then Chris had to do it. So you know what? I'm going to do it. Honorable mention for me is going to be that new Wolverine with the leather jacket.
Ooh,
a Hugh Jackman Wolverine with a leather jacket. Like, are you kidding me? With a real leather jacket. And again, guys, these are figures. I got to give it my realm of thinking. I'm like, as beautiful and amazing as that battle damage Vader is, I have 3 Vaders in my collection right now. So I can't give pre-order to the year for me to that. Another honorable mention, one more, and then Ryan, I'll let you have the floor. Buzz Lightyear,
here we go,
baby.
yeah.
Buzz Lightyear, baby. You can't forget about
God.
Buzz Lightyear. Do not forget about Buzz Lightyear. Don't you disrespect Buzz Lightyear because he is Buzz Lightyear. I know it's not
my Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear. Hey, it's
my Buzz Lightyear.
It's my Buzz Lightyear in the Lightyear film universe, and we're never going to get a proper Buzz Lightyear, so I'll take that one. So that's going to be my other honorable mention. But Ryan, go ahead.
I'm tossed up honestly between 2, because. So here's my dilemma.
Dude,
obviously, the number
one honorable mention. You could do it if you want.
I know. I am going to say honorable. Well, here's my thing: is obviously if I say the vehicle, it's going to be the DeLorean, because I never thought getting into Hot Toys in like 2 years, I get a chance at a repeat vehicle.
Yeah.
Like I never thought they would reissue a vehicle, which opens up a possibility that I think if the Flash movie sees the light of day, we might even see an '89 Batmobile. And I'm really hoping. I honestly missed out on the Afterlife Ecto 1. I just couldn't swing that with too much going on. So that's why I'm hoping next year with the new Ghostbusters movie, the Afterlife gets fixed up technically. Long shot, but we get like a clean version if Afterlife sells well. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. But from a vehicle standpoint, the DeLorean. From a figure standpoint, might surprise you. I'm going with Bespin Luke. I'm going with Bespin Luke.
You guys know I was really excited for that one, but I didn't pre-order it, so that's why it was left.
No, I pre-ordered that one quick because Empire is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time.
High five, Ryan. Me too.
And when I started collecting, I snagged as much Empire stuff like before it went out. Like I got the 40th Vader, I got Lando. I missed out on 40th Boba. He can't. Just like our paths just barely crossed, and I missed out on that. So I grab anything that's Empire. Like Empire's grandfathered into day one pre-ordering. Anything that's Empire. So like anything Empire. So when I saw that, I was like, holy crap, that's awesome that they did it. I didn't need a 2-pack. It just looks awesome. I can't wait to have it. That's like a definitive piece for my Empire collection, which I'm trying to grow. And so I would probably say that. The Spider-Mans and all that stuff is really great, but that Luke really meant something to me when they actually really released that. That was awesome.
Yeah. That's a special release for me too. And I'm surprised I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I'm gonna try to get a deal on this because I'm getting 2 of those. I think
it's gonna sit. I just need
I'm getting 2 of those bad boys. And after I saw that Snowspeeder Luke just kept getting discounted, I'm like, God damn it, Sideshow.
The Snowspeeder Luke, I have it. I think it's a great figure. That's like a top 5 figure for me for the year. But when I think Luke Skywalker, I close my eyes, that Bespin suit is like that's the definitive Luke for me. Like what he looks like. That was always Luke for me. And then the black cloak from Return of the Jedi.
You know me, dude. And for me, it's that Return of the Jedi Luke with the
bib open,
right, folded down so you could see the white exposed. That to me is my Luke Skywalker. However, my Star Wars film is Empire Strikes Back. That's my number one. So the moments experienced in that Bespin outfit is why it makes it so special to me, because I like that moment where Luke is communicating with Vader and he finds out for the first time that this monster in this suit is his father. Like it's unmatched for me in Star Wars. It's unmatched. That's why when I wanted to get a signed print of David Prowse, that's the moment I wanted a print of, is that moment right there. So I totally see where you're coming from. That's such a special release. I wanted to read a couple comments here before we move on to Sean. Batman with Bat Signal, that's another excellent release. Another really, really hype release. I have everything from the Batman on pre-order. You guys know I absolutely love that movie. So, yeah, that's a great one.
And that Bat's waitlist didn't convert either, by the way.
Yeah, that's another one people are waiting on to convert. But as some others have pointed out in the chat, there's some other sources where you can grab that stuff from if you look around. Monica says quarter scale Mark IV with gantry. And he's been pretty consistent with that. So I know he's really excited for it. I told him, I'm like, dude, finding the room for that must be pretty tough because that's massive. Quarter scale, you mean that the 6 scale gantry is massive. So it's definitely going to be an amazing piece, though. It's a 3-way tie for Tremble Dust. He says, Mark 1, have that on pre-order. I can't wait for the Mark 1. Sam Wilson cap, I'll be grabbing that one. And Cyborg as well. Cyborg's awesome. That's another one. Like, that's the last of my Justice League, dude. I need that Cyborg, and then I'm done with the Justice League. I'm really excited to get that. Ian says, I can't for the life of me find a Justice League Superman for a good deal. Black suit is good enough. Yeah, I mean, after that little cameo at the end of Black Adam, and especially now that like Cavill is pulling his likeness and stuff, it's going to be becoming more difficult. I know Inart has said that they're going to do a Justice League Superman, but that's like somewhere over the rainbow. They have that long ass list, and he wasn't even on the top of it. So a lot of people are going to be spending the money to get that Justice League Superman. Gary says, I've been a sub for a couple of months and I really enjoy the content. Congrats on reaching 600 subs hotline and keep bringing the great content. Thank you so much, Gary. I really appreciate you. It's so awesome to see a lot of you guys coming back. Of course, we love to see new members as well, but it's heartwarming to see that you guys enjoy what we do here enough to keep coming back. So I appreciate you for those kind words, Gary. And I'm very, very happy to have reached 600. I'm really, really pleased. Monica's telling me to shut up and get the quarter scale Vader already. Dude, the thing is like, I would love to get the quarter scale Vader, but I don't have the space. And again, if you all want to get me on quarter scale, Monica, if you want to get me on quarter scale, you got to go whisper in Howie's ear and tell him I want a quarter scale Anakin Skywalker. Then you got me. Because I want a true quarter scale Anakin Skywalker. Like Revenge of the Sith, doesn't matter, episode 2, like whatever you give me, that'll suck me in. But really, Revenge of the Sith, like a dark side Anakin, that's what really will suck me in. Top pre-order, Cad Bane. Yes, that's another one. That was a day one pre-order for me because when I saw that Cad Bane, I'm like, you gave us Toto from the Clone Wars? Hell yeah, I'm taking that. Deluxe or regular Bespin? I'm getting, I don't know about you, Deluxe. Ryan. I'm getting 2 deluxe.
I'm just getting 1 deluxe.
I'm getting 2 deluxe. And the reason I'm getting 2, guys, I'm actually going to do a tank top Luke. I bought the parts to do a tank top Bespin Luke to go with my Empire Strikes Back Yoda. So I want one in the normal like fatigues to go with Vader, kind of battling it out with Vader, and then one to be next to Yoda as like the training Luke, Space is overrated, make some. Hey, that's not a bad motto to have. That's kind of what I do. I kind of forced myself into building these cases as my details were bursting at the seams. Arc Trooper Jesse, that's another great one. You know what would make me even more excited for Arc Trooper Jesse? Arc Trooper 5s. Like, come on, Hot Toys. Where the hell is my Arc Trooper 5s? All right, but Sean, what is your number 1 pre-order for this year?
The ARF Trooper with ATRT.
Ooh. I don't have that one on pre-order yet because it's so early, but that's an incredible set. And Sean, I know being a Trooper collector, that was like a godsend for you. And I remember how excited you were when we saw that was dropped. And I was too. I love the 501st, but tell us why that's your number 1 pre-order for this year.
So out of everything here that's coming out that I've pre-ordered within this year anyways, that's the one that I want to come out fast.
Yeah.
Along with the Bark Trooper or Bark Speeders. Those would be cool too. But right now it's just, I like the whole ARF Trooper and the ATRT design.
Yeah, and that helmet's not for everybody, but I really like it too. I like those, and those are removable, right? Those little fins on his face, I think they're removable.
Stand up, how far it can actually move the legs to where it still has stability and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely an exciting release for sure. I know a lot of people are hyped for that one, and we have to keep a close eye on that one because look how fast these other vehicles have been kind of disappearing. I'm sure Sean's got his pre-orders in already because he wouldn't be saying it otherwise. But a lot of us who haven't, I'm keeping a close eye on that one because obviously I miss out on Appo. I'm waiting for that one to convert. Monica said he's getting 3 Lukes. Monica's really dedicated to the Bespin Luke like I am. 3 Lukes. Can't go wrong. 3 Lukes, baby. Joe says Jesse and Padme are up there as well. Yeah, Padme's really special, man. She really is. She's up there for me. Honestly, Mace Windu would have been number 1 if we had already had him at this point in time, but obviously he has not popped up for pre-order just yet. Sean being a man of culture. Yeah, Sean is a man of culture indeed.
Yeah, so with the whole ARC Trooper 5s that you're commenting, I want them, when they do it, they have to do it with the 1.5 helmet where it has the fin coming out and the 2.0 because he had both helmets. Only Echo had the 1.5 helmet between the two.
Yeah, and Rex's is kind of 1.5, even though he made it himself and like welded the 2 helmets together. Right. But yeah, I agree. They have to, if they're going to give us a 5s, give us the definitive 5s. Give us multiple options to display them. I mean, I'm not going to spoil the Clone Wars for anybody because it's such a good, but 5s, dude, if they listened to 5s, he could have changed some lives. That's all I'll say. You got to watch.
He would have changed the entire outcome.
Everything. It would have changed the whole story.
Existed.
Yeah. Right. So they should. He's a special trooper for that reason. But you got to watch the Clone Wars. But all right, guys, let's get on to our final question of the night. Final question of the night. What is your number 1 in-stock purchase this year? So in-stock purchase meaning a figure that was in stock already. Maybe you got a deal on it, used some coupons. It wasn't on pre-order, just an in-stock purchase. Mine is a pretty easy one. And this is a figure that surprised me quite a bit. And this is why I'm going to give it my number 1 slot. My number 1 in-stock purchase this year, one that really surprised me, is going to be the Damn Toys Leon S. Kennedy. So guys, prior to buying this figure, I had never, seen a Damn Toys product in person. Never in my life had I seen a Damn Toys product. So I didn't know what to expect. Now, when I say this, was this figure perfect? No, but it had a lot of Hot Toys-esque qualities. The quality was there in terms of the fitment of the clothing, the sculpt on the boots, the sculpt on the different gear, the amount of accessories he came with. I mean, he included so many accessories. He had all of the keys. He had a flashlight. He had the health spray. He had so many firearms, multiple pistols, just shotguns galore. He had everything. And to me, I'm like, this company is someone I've never bought from before, and they impressed me this much. So I've got to give that for an in-stock purchase. That was my number 1 because, again, it just caught me so off guard. Does that mean it was better than all the Hot Toys products that I picked up? Not necessarily. It just shocked me because I was like, what have I been doing all this time? Just ignoring Damn Toys, you know? So that figure really pleased me. I really, really do enjoy having it. And so much so that I pre-ordered the remainder of the Resident Evil remake line. So the rest of those figures are coming home to me. And I also ended up grabbing the Damn Toys Godfather figure, the standard one. I didn't get the golden years because I just wanted the standard one, the Vito Corleone, but I'm keeping an eye on Damn Toys from now on. I was sleeping on them for the longest time, and Leon let me see the light. So that's going to be my number 1 in-stock purchase for this year. Who's got their answer?
Is it in stock with Sideshow only, or is it in stock?
Anyone, yeah, anywhere where you found something in stock, that'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, I got mine. So.
I got mine.
All right, let's go, Ryan.
Do I have to go honorable mention again? Because I think I have.
Hey, if you got an honorable mention, spit it out. Let's
honorable mention. I don't have it in my hands yet. It'll be here next week, but I did buy it. Django Fett.
Nice.
From Sideshow.
That's a big one, man. That's a big one.
Coupons. He's like the last, Fett that I needed to complete to go with my Dooku. But probably my steal of the year, Golden Armor Wonder Woman. She's right there. I got to give her props. I see Monica, I think, called it out too.
Yes, Monica saying Golden Armor Wonder Woman as well.
I paid $160 for her on Sideshow, brand new.
That's cheap, man.
But the reason why I got it is because it was literally the DeLorean and Yeah, it was that and the DeLorean that actually forced my hand to rebuild my whole display system.
Don't you love when we use those terms? Force my hand.
But
Chris
it
was
really
using that
did
earlier.
because I
Forced his
wanted that.
hand.
The only reason why I didn't get this figure when it launched was because I didn't have the space to display her like this in full wingspan. And so that kind of made me realize that I can't let my display setup enable my collecting and then not allowing me to buy what I want. And so
Right.
that being said, that is the, so you see how she is. She's posed full wingspan right there. That is how I intended her to get it. I built the display, put it in there, and that's it. So I got to say she's my number one.
Nice. I mean, she definitely has some incredible shelf presence. I mean, when I'm looking at your shelf, the first thing I see are those big golden wings kind
and
of
everyone's
towering
slept
over
on this
everybody.
figure too because of that head sculpt. And I could tell you
Yeah.
that thing is money in person. It photographs crap. I do say so. It's hard to get it the likeness on camera.
And there's a lot of figures like that.
Yeah, in person though, this sculpt is money. It is money.
Nice, dude.
She's not Wonder Woman
it's a
anymore.
beautiful figure. Yeah. And that's the other thing. A lot of these DC figures are going to have more value, not only monetarily, but sentimental value, because people are kind of reminiscing of the past now because Gal Gadot's gone, Henry Cavill's gone, Ben Affleck's gone, at least in the acting sense. He might be directing some stuff for DC, but yeah, I mean, I understand that, dude. It's a beautiful figure. I've never seen it in person, but I could tell that it looks
great. First thing I looked
at
when I looked at my display case.
Yeah, I mean, it towers over it. You could see those wings. It looks great, man. All right, let's see what we got some answers from the chat before we move on to the next answer. Classic Spider-Man. It's funny because Classic Spider-Man, a lot of people had a lot of love for that figure. Then once they started releasing more stuff that kind of looked like that Classic Spider-Man, everybody started to forget about the Classic Spider-Man. But yeah, I know a lot of people love that suit. I mean, it's very close to the comic looks. Everybody really appreciates it for that. But good answer, dude. Tremble says, that's a toughie. Mark 1, War Machine Mark 1, 112 scale Mezco Constantine, Cable with points. Dude, Cable I got on pre-order, so I couldn't put that on, but we're going to talk about Cable in a video. We're going to talk about Cable because that's a really special one for me as well. Commander Crook says, I have the 4-piece set of Navy SEALs Operation Red Wings by Damn Toys. I heard some of their military figures are incredible. Like that's like the cream of the crop is their military stuff. I have heard that. Payton says, Damn Toys Godfather. So I don't have mine yet. I think I have one payment left. I'll probably get him this month. But yeah, I got him for like $150. Sideshow had that deal going on, and I used a little bit of rewards. I got him super cheap, and that figure looks incredible. And he has the end table with the candlestick and the cognac and everything, and he's got the chair with the cat. I'm excited for that one. That's the Godfather films. Those are other films, like just talking about pillar films in general. Obviously, Back to the Future, Star Wars. So for some people, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Godfather. Like there's a lot of films, RoboCop for me. It's like a lot of films. Those are pillar films that you have to see. And I think the Godfather series is one of them. Joe P said, I think Echo was my only in-stock pickup. Everything else was pre-order. Echo's fantastic. I just got Echo recently on a deal for Black Friday, and that figure is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But let's move on. Chris, what is your number one in-stock purchase for this year?
I think I'm going to go with my Return of the Jedi Scout Trooper and Speeder Bike.
Nice.
It's a beautiful, beautiful set. Yeah. Like I've said, that diorama.
Yeah.
It just gets me every time, and I always find myself looking at it. Now, as a runner-up, I was also impressed with Captain America 2012.
Yeah, that's a beautiful figure.
As soon as I took him out the box, like I said, that sculpted hair, man, and the vibrancy of the suit.
Yeah. I mean, nothing beats it, man. I mean, we've talked about this many times, but when you look at your Marvel display, what is the first thing that draws your eye? It's those colors on that 2012 cap suit. And it's literally Avengers 1 cap. Obviously, it's from the Endgame, but that's the Avengers 1 cap look. And it's like, that makes it that much more special. And if you have Mark 7 like I do, we got this Loki coming out. It's special, man. It really is. But great answer. Cigars, what is your number one in-stock purchase this year?
Ed 209.
Oh, you bastard. You just had to do it. You just had to do it to me, Cigars.
Yeah. One of my
That's a special one, dude. That's a special one.
I was looking for something on my birthday, and one of my backup sites happened to get Ed 209 brand new in box, and I pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely up there on my list of like grail pieces that I need to have at some point. And I think part of me is like, oh man, hopefully we'll get something else from RoboCop this year. But also part of me is like, they'll probably never do Ed 209 again, and I'm gonna have to hunt him down. But that's really special, and you know that's a special one to me. So I was pretty stoked that you were able to pick that up. I'll probably end up hunting him down here soon because I just won't be able to wait any longer. But yeah, if you're a big RoboCop fan, that's a pivotal piece. You got to get the Ed 209. Right now, I have my 1/18 scale Ed 209, and I'm happy with that. But
you know who I also don't give enough credit to that I didn't even think about because I got him this year too in stock from Big Bad Toy Store, and you're looking for him as well, was the Tyrion Deluxe.
Yes, the Tyrion Deluxe.
I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think out of all the 3-0 figures, of course, I'm just going based off of what I saw in your collection because I don't have him yet, but I think he has one of the better head sculpts out of the 3-0 Game of Thrones figures. I think that looks. I think that's the most accurate one that they've done thus far. And Tyrion's also, Jamie Lannister's good too. He looks just like Nikolaj Walter Custo, I think his name is. He plays Jamie. But
let me know when you're looking for Ed 209. I just checked one of my backup sites and they have it in stock.
Don't do this to me, Cigars. I shouldn't be spending the money, but
let's go. Live purchase.
I'm just telling you.
Heck no. If it,
no, it ain't. No, it ain't. You know why?
I'm talking about Ryan's live purchase.
Live purchase right now.
No, because that's one of my secret sites that I don't give to people.
If we get if we get 5 more subs right now in the next 5 minutes, you're buying Ed 209.
No way!
Yeah,
don't
not live.
Don't do this.
He can do it back. He can do it backstage. I'm not giving up my.
That's
secret
hilarious.
Site.
Ryan's like, do it right now. I don't want to get murdered live either because my girlfriend watches my stream. She'll kill me.
He's trying to make me give up one of my secret sites. No,
right. Don't give out the secret recipe.
No, you can do it on the side. Just screenshot proof of purchase.
You don't give out the secret recipe.
We were just talking about it, so I went to go check to see if maybe by any chance they might have gotten any more. And yep, one in stock.
Damn. I'll have to take a look.
You know you want to,
Sean. While you're talking, Sean, what is your number one in stock purchase of this year?
So, for me, I do a lot of pre-ordering, so I don't buy a lot of in stock. The 2012 Captain America, I think, is an exceptional figure, and I really like it. Is it really America's ass? No, it is not.
I was sad about that.
But
it's still him.
But it's still.
I wouldn't have the ass facing the front anyway. But yeah, bit unfortunate.
So I have considered getting a second one to do kind of recreate that fight scene.
Just have him laying on the floor with his face down. That's funny. That's a funny scene. It's one of those things.
A lot of people did it.
It's one of those things you're like, I'm surprised Disney allowed that, because it seems like a little too, it's not Disney-fied enough. So I was pretty happy to see that. I thought that was a hilarious scene. Guys, before just side note, like Avatar, it's kind of brutal, dude. It really is. Wait till you see Avatar. It's a little brutal, more than you would expect.
Look what they did with Obi-Wan Kenobi, like with Vader, though.
Yeah. It's surprising. CMB knows all the black market stuff. Yeah, he's getting Hot Toys from this dude's like sweating in his kitchen, packing up Hot Toys. He's finding all the good deals.
Hey man, it's one of the perks of running Cobra. I know all the black market organizations.
That's very true. But yeah, I'm gonna see if we have any more answers to this question before we start wrapping up here. I think that's it. All right, guys. So, guys, that brings us to the 2 hour and 30-minute mark. So that concludes our stream. But hey, if you're here and you haven't already, please consider dropping a like on the stream. And also, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so for more great content like this. Also, guys, I have a special announcement before you guys start dipping out. Ryan and I may have just filmed a video for a new series that we're starting. We don't want to tell you what it is yet because I want it to be a surprise.
That's it right there. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you guys speak dog, you may have heard what he just said, but if not, you're going to have to decipher that somehow. But Ryan and I actually before the stream just filmed our first episode in a new series that we're starting. So it's going to be a joint series between Ryan and I, and every week we're going to try to put a new episode out. That's our plan. Every week we're going to put out a new episode. It's going to go live on Monday. So keep an eye out.
You can find it at OnlyFans.
Exactly. Yeah. So Ryan just created his account on OnlyFans. So you have to head over there.
Doing this now. All right.
Right. Yeah. The dog producer. That's our producer is the dog. Sean's dog.
It's a joint effort. So you're gonna have to go to Hot Toys Hotline, Patreon, and the Mr. Mom, Mr. Mom secluded at night. OnlyFans.
The title of the show is called The Beard and the Bear.
Great stream. Peyton says, great stream. Have a happy new year. You as well, Peyton. Have a happy new year. But yeah, so guys, keep an eye out on Monday. We're going to drop that video on Monday. I'm going to be editing it over the weekend. It was our first video, so we already have come up with some ideas where we want to change some things with the format, but we're still happy with how it came out. I'm going to edit it up and have it. And Ryan did some really awesome like thumbnails, and he did a nice little intro specifically for these videos. So it's going to be really cool. We also have some other stuff planned. So that series is going to air on my channel. We have some other stuff that we're going to be doing that will be on Ryan's channel. I was thinking maybe we should split it, but Ryan's like, let's just do this one and we'll do some other ones on my channel and vice versa. So you're going to see some back and forth content, but it's going to be fun because sometimes it's fun.
We both had the idea for like a similar concept, so we just decided just to put them together and be like, make a series.
Right. So like, why compete against each other doing similar videos when we could just do it together? So that's what we're doing. So keep an eye out on Monday for the first of that series. We're really excited about it. It's something that comes up in a lot of conversations recently, especially with a lot of figures releasing, and a lot of people are like, why would they release this instead of that?
I don't think we've seen any. I mean, I think we'll tell everybody after the chat after this is over, but I don't think we've seen anybody do this yet live. So this might be a first in the community.
Right. So we're excited to share it with y'all, and it's something that we're going to do consistently because it pops up in conversation a lot. But I think that's probably all that Ryan has going on his channel, apart from like the photography stuff. Obviously, guys, keep an eye out. Ryan's going to be doing some more photos once that DeLorean hits, and I know he's going to do a review on that DeLorean. I don't know how soon I'll get my DeLorean because I haven't even ordered mine yet, but Ryan's probably going to beat me to it. So keep an eye out on his channel too for a DeLorean review, because I know the moment he gets it, he's gonna throw that up. But Chris, what do you have going on over on Collecting Madness?
Got a little bit going on. I just throw a few shorts here and there. Started doing those, but recently, today, I just uploaded this. It's the Iron Studios.
Oh, I've seen that on Sideshow. That's a cool piece.
Prime 1/3 scale Tom and Jerry statue here.
Looks like it comes with a real crab mallet. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. But so I got that up on the channel, and we're just moving forward. I'm uploading.
Yeah, congrats, by the way, on 400, guys. Everybody, golf claps in the chat for Chris. He did finally hit 400. He hit the end of the year goal.
Moving slowly.
So we're really proud of him. I'm really happy. That's awesome, man. I mean, we're all hitting our goals here. So it's good to see everybody moving forward.
And I got
doesn't matter the speed or the pace, as long as you're still moving forward.
Right.
Exactly.
And I got some more WWE stuff. If anybody's a WWE fan out there, I got a lot of people still commenting on that stuff on my channel. So I got a few more videos I got to pump out on that stuff.
Yeah, Chris is actually going to wrestle somebody live on his channel. So if you guys are excited about that, I'm excited. I don't know who he's wrestling. He didn't tell me who his opponent was yet, but
is it going to be like in Mexico, barbed wire ring with broken glass?
Yeah, it's low budget. It's low budget because we got to spend all this money on Hot Toys, so it's going to be a bit low budget. But
yeah, that's why I bought these glass cases so I could throw one of them in it.
Hell yeah, that was well worth the purchase.
He's going Mick Foley route.
Right, exactly.
Make it sound like
this could be found only at Collecting Gone Madness, OnlyFans.com.
Everybody's on OnlyFans, according to Sean. We're just all on OnlyFans now, I guess. Yeah.
So,
Sean, how are you finding
not
our
me?
account
I don't
so
have the
fast?
hips.
Yeah, so we take any subscriptions over there at Collecting Madness. It's free to hit it. So
hashtag Beard and Bear.
Yeah, so guys, everybody's that's
copyrighted
channels.
by Boulder and Boulder Inc.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, you guys owe a small percentage of cigars if you use that term. But also, guys, our friend Mr. Mom here, there's a word out on the street that Ryan is trying to hit 450 by the end of the year. So if you have not already, head on over to Mr. Mom Collectibles. Let's try to get him to 450. If you're watching this on the replay too, he may not be at 450 by then. So definitely.
Hey, my Instagram, I'm only 5 away from 800. So either 800 on Instagram.
Guys, you got to help me out on Instagram. He's blowing me out of the water at 800. I've only got 200. Hey, I'm happy with my 200 almost. But if you're not on the Hot Toys Hotline Instagram and you want the fastest news about new releases and different things from different 6-scale companies, definitely check me out on Instagram. But yes, head on over, Mr. Mom Collectibles. Definitely subscribe. It's definitely worth your time. Trust me. And like I said, you'll see me over there soon enough with our joint content. So if you like seeing me over there, then definitely subscribe for that too. Even if you hate Ryan, right? If you hate Ryan, head over for me because I'll be on that channel soon enough. Sean, what do you have going on Hot Toys Nightmare?
All right, so I haven't had a lot of time lately. to be able to do anything. So I haven't had any new videos and things that I've wanted to do. I haven't had a chance to.
Fair.
Just work. Most of November, my kids were sick.
Oh, like I am right now.
Took a lot of energy out of me. And
amen.
then we had Christmas on top of that, and a lot of videos I wanted to make I haven't done yet. But that's just time, and whenever it goes through, and I can get stuff updated. Plus, looking at redoing the basement now, getting
that's going to be a task
there.
Yeah.
It's not I'm not going to do it overnight, even though everything in my fiber and being says to do it.
You just got to do it,
overnight.
Man. I mean,
I'm not
like, think about it this way. We've all been doing it the past few weeks, like me, Ryan, Chris. It's a pain in the ass, but it's like when you get to see the changes at the end, you're like, it was worth it. So
yeah,
you just got to do it.
True. But
I made mine into a short. It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
But I am going to do a tour video.
Nice.
Of it. So that's my goal, is by either December 31st or the 1st.
Nice.
Dude,
so guys, keep an eye out for that.
I'm really excited to see your stuff, especially your clone collection. When you get that
last video
trooper with that, what is it? The ATRT or whatever it's called, that the Walker ATRT looking one that is. Yeah. Oh, I said it.
Yeah.
Dude, when you put that in there, when that eventually comes out, bro, I'm excited for you. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
some guy, thank you, by the way. Some guy says, "Great stream tonight, fellas. Happy New Year to a big 2023." Amen to that.
I got an announcement.
Let's hear it.
I got it. Don is coming into town tomorrow, and we're gonna be throwing a party at my house over the weekend for New Year's Eve. It's gonna be me, Nate, Violet.
Nice.
So we might be doing a live stream, and y'all gonna see us all together getting hammered.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that, guys. If you want to see something a little different, keep an eye out for that.
But y'all ain't gonna see my face because I'm gonna be wearing my mask.
What about Destro or the Baroness? Are they gonna be there?
What about the Hot Toys Nightmare? Is he gonna be there?
Welcome. I invited whoever wanted to show up.
No,
Damn,
I didn't
Sean.
get invited.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Put it out way in the beginning, saying that we were thinking about
doing
it.
Beginning of what?
Anybody could,
all right.
beginning of December.
We're ending the stream, guys. We're at 2:40. We can't hit 3 hours. That's a curse.
I said, anybody wants, I'm throwing a party.
We'll have this
Anybody
fight
and everybody's
off-stream.
welcome.
All right, guys. Once again, have an absolute happy New Year. Have a safe weekend. Be very careful. I know some people, if you're old enough to drink, be safe out there. Drink at home if you can. But have a great time with your friends and family. Thank you so much for being here, guys. We hit like 74 viewers at one point. I'm like, my mind's blown. Like, thank you so much for the support, both new and old supporters. It's great to see you all here. Once again, you guys are our friends. We hang out with you every Thursday night, so it's good to see my friends here all the time.
Hey, I got one more thing to put out before you close this out.
By the way, Vulture's going to be coming soon.
One more thing.
Oh, yeah, he's putting that out there. So, real quick, before Sean says anything, Ryan is saying that he thinks Vulture's going to come out.
Vulture's dropping 31st, or tonight. Yeah.
So that's Ryan's thought. So, hey, guys, keep it out. Keep your eye out. If you see Vulture pop up, you got to give Ryan his props.
I passed on the other 3 companies that, tried it just because Hot Toys kept teasing it. So
Yeah,
Happy
me
New
too.
Year, my friend. See you
Me
soon.
too. I passed on everybody else because I was like, oh, Hot Toys teased it.
Hot Toys
so
is like,
hopefully
fine,
it's coming.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah. So every December 31st, Hot Toys releases something. So we're gonna at least get one more.
Right.
And lately it's been Iron Man for the past couple years, though. So
well,
kind of
2020, December 31st,
Mace,
2020, it was Heavy Infantry Mandalorian.
That's true.
Then,
that's true. That's
and then
right.
in 2021, December 31st, 2021 was the Golden Armor Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah. See,
I'm gonna say
really
this
on my radar. So
I'm gonna say they're gonna go out with a bang.
Last year was the Mark IV quarter scale gantry.
That was an announcement, not a release.
Oh, I'm talking about an announcement.
I'm gonna say this. B2, Mace Windu, and Vulture. Oh,
I would
actually,
agree with that. No, that's a drop. I would definitely.
Daredevil. Let's throw him into the mix. Let's throw Daredevil into the mix just cause. Why not? Those are my 4 predictions. It could, and I'll say this: it may not be all of them, but it could be some of them.
And they do Iron Man Mark 1.
I'll tell you what. If it's any of the ones that we were saying tonight, then I'll take a couple of shots in your guys' honor for getting it right.
There you go.
You know what? We're also going to get with that Daredevil. The feet can come on. You're going to have bare feet. You can replace it. So you can do the walk of shame where he's carrying his boots in his hand.
Damn. That's a good Hot Toys collector. You're making Monica happy there with the quarter scale prediction. There you go. N1 mic drop. I honestly think the N1's going to be closer to the next season of The Mandalorian. I think they're going to capitalize.
I think
I want
season 1's, their season 3's first episode premiere, and like that night or the next day, it'll be like, oh, by the way, here's the N1, guys.
Right. All right, guys, that's going to be it for us. Once again, have a happy new year. Have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you have not already, subscribe to not only myself, but any of these other fantastic channels. And please consider dropping a like on this video. And once again, stay tuned on Monday for that new video series going live from Ryan and I. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you next time.
Make good choices.